Okay, so students, welcome back. So please type in the chat box, am I audible? So type in the chat box, am I audible to you all? Yeah, okay, I'm audible, right? Yeah, good evening. So welcome back. So we shall Vinod Saga session thoda extend हुआ. So इसलिए मैंने 15 minutes late start किया. Okay, fine, clear, good. So shall we start the questions? Okay, so yeah, so basically we have started with this topic fluid mechanics and in the morning, then we have this session of solid mechanics and thermodynamics, and finally we had this session of mathematics, the last session for the day. Okay, so we will start from basically we will start this session and we will finish it around 12 p.m. okay, I mean 12 a.m. So, and of course this is our team, which by this time each and every one of our team basically for manufacturing different disciplines actually here. So let us go for the first question directly. So this is a question from differential equation. Okay, so हम differential equation से बहुत simple questions expect करते हैं इस साल भी, like, so let us solve this question सीधा. Let y of x be a solution to the differential equation y double dash plus 2y dash plus y is equal to 0, है ना. So this is differential equation. Okay, so अगर इस differential equation को हम solve करना है तो this is a high order differential equation with constant coefficients, correct. So हम कैसे करते हैं, इस इक्वेशन को हम लिखते हैं कि डी स्क्वेयर वाई बाई डी एक्स स्क्वेयर प्लस 2 टाइम्स ऑफ डी वाई बाई डी एक्स प्लस वाई इज इक्वल टू 0, करेक्ट. सो इस इक्वेशन का ऑक्सिलरी इक्वेशन अगर हमने कैपिटल डी इज इक्वल टू डी बाई डी एक्स लिया तो ये इक्वेशन कैसे कन्वर्ट करते हैं, डी स्क्वेयर प्लस 2 टाइम्स ऑफ डी प्लस 1 ऑपरेटिंग ऑन वाई इज इक्वल टू 0. So this equation is actually homogeneous equation, correct. So ये equation homogeneous equation था. So इसलिए हमें अगर solve करना है तो auxiliary equation क्या होते हैं, auxiliary equation ये होता है कि m square plus 2m plus 1 is equal to 0. So इसको हम कैसे लिखते हैं, m plus 1 whole square is equal to 0. Okay, so m is equal to -1 comma -1. So roots repeated है. So अगर आप जब आप इस इक्वेशन को सॉल्व किया था उस टाइम पे रूट्स रिपीटेड रूट्स आए तो हम कैसे लिखते हैं सॉल्यूशन, yc इज इक्वल टू c1x प्लस c2 टाइम्स e पावर माइनस x, करेक्ट. सो यहाँ तक सबको पता चलेगा, ऐसा नो. सो प्लीज टाइप इन द चैट बॉक्स, डिड यू ऑल अंडरस्टैंड दिस पॉइंट. सो सारे लोग एक बार कंफर्म कीजिए चैट में, यहाँ तक सबको समझ में आया ना, क्योंकि रिपीटिंग रूट्स. ओके, सो अगर आपका रूट्स रिपीटिंग है तो सॉल्यूशन कैसे होते हैं, c1x प्लस c2 इंटू e पावर माइनस x, करेक्ट. क्लियर. सो ऑल ऑफ यू, एवरीवन शुड टाइप इन द चैट बॉक्स, कम ऑन. ओके, नाउ इफ यू सी हमारे पास दो आर्बिट्रेरी कांस्टेंट्स है एंड ये दो आर्बिट्रेरी कांस्टेंट्स कैलकुलेट करने के लिए हमारे पास दो बाउंड्री कंडीशंस भी है. ओके, सो y ऑफ 0 इज इक्वल टू 1. सो पहले बाउंड्री कंडीशन दिया है कि y ऑफ 0 इज इक्वल टू 1. ओके, सो y इज इक्वल टू c1x plus c2 times e power minus x. Okay, so if this is e power minus x, so पहली बाउंड्री कंडीशन ये दिया कि x is equal to 0, y का वैल्यू कितना है, at x is equal to 0, y is equal to, at x is equal to 0, y is equal to 1. Okay, so y is equal to 1. So this is equal to 1 is equal to c1 into 0 plus c2 into e power minus 0. So c2 का वैल्यू कितना आता है इस इक्वेशन से, 1 आते हैं ना. So c2 is equal to 1 basically here. Okay, so is value 1 and 1 is equal to 0 plus c2. So c2 का वैल्यू होता है कि 1. So and दूसरा बाउंड्री कंडीशन क्या दिया था, at x is equal to 0, y dash is equal to 1. Okay, so at x is equal to 0, y dash of 0 is equal, at x is equal to 0, y dash is equal to 1. So अगर आपने इस सॉल्यूशन को dy by dx कैलकुलेट किया तो क्या आते हैं, dy by dx is equal to c1x plus c2 into e power minus x into minus 1 plus second function into this function derivative with respect to x is c1. Okay, so अगर आपने x equal to 0 सब्स्टिट्यूट किया तो at x is equal to 0 this value is 1. So 1 is equal to, अगर आपने यहाँ 0 सब्स्टिट्यूट किया तो 0 plus c2 का वैल्यू कितना है, 1. So 1 into e power minus 0 into minus 1. Okay, so ये पूरा वैल्यू होता है कि minus 1 plus e power minus 0 is 1 into c1. Okay, so c1 का वैल्यू कितना आता है, 2, करेक्ट. So c1 का वैल्यू 2 आएगा. So solution क्या होता है, y is equal to c1x. So c1 का वैल्यू 2, so 2x plus c2 कितना है, 1. So 2x plus 1 e power minus x. So अब इस लोग ने क्या पूछा था हमको, look, limit x tends to 2 y of x. Okay, so limit x tends to 2 y of x. So this is equal to limit x tends to 2 2x plus 1 e power minus x. सो यह कुछ डिनोमिनेटर 0 ये कोई पॉसिबिलिटीज नहीं है. सो अगर आपने डायरेक्टली सब्स्टिट्यूट किया तो 5 टाइम्स ऑफ e पावर माइनस 2. सो 5 बाई ई स्क्वायर इज द सॉल्यूशन. ओके, सो इस वैल्यू को हमें सॉल्व करना है. ठीक है, okay, so if you see where is this keypad, show touchpad touch keyboard button. Okay, fine. Okay, so now we can do this. Get calculator online. Okay, so get calculator online. Now after morning session, you know, I learned from some of you. So now if you see 5 by e square value, okay, so 5 by e square हम ऐसे कैसे कैलकुलेट करते हैं? 5 divided by 2 e power x. Okay, so 5 by power 2 to the base e 0.6766 आता है. करेक्ट? सो 0.6766. सो कितने डेसिमल्स तक काउंट ऑफ करना है? ओके, कुछ नहीं दिया था. सो नॉर्मली बाय डिफॉल्ट 3 डेसिमल्स तक काउंट ऑफ करना है. सो 0.677. okay, so 0.677 you can write. so 0.677 is the answer here. okay, so ये थोड़ा सिंपल इक्वेशन था क्योंकि राइट हैंड साइड पे 0 है एक्चुअली. ओके, सो इस इक्वेशन is actually a homogeneous differential equation. okay, अगर नॉन होमोजेनियस दिया तो हम पर्टिकुलर इंटीग्रल भी कैलकुलेट करना है. ठीक है, फाइन. सो टाइप इन द चैट बॉक्स, इज दिस क्लियर टू यू? कुछ लोग ने मेरे को ये यू नो मेथड ऑफ वेरिएशन ऑफ पैरामीटर्स से पूछा था. एक मिनट, look, normally I just want to tell you one thing. Method of variation of parameters, मैं सिर्फ जस्ट फॉर्मूला से एक्सप्लेन करता हूं इस पर. सो मेथड ऑफ वेरिएशन ऑफ पैरामीटर्स, नॉर्मली पैरामीटर्स. ओके, सो मेथड ऑफ वेरिएशन ऑफ पैरामीटर्स. सो इस इक्वेशन फाइनली कैलकुलेटर केम बैक फ्रॉम लीव. या ओके, कैलकुलेटर छुट्टी पे है सुबह तक. ओके, नाउ इफ यू सी, अगर आपके पास ए इक्वेशन है तो पी वाई प्लस क्यू इज इक्वल टू 0, पी वाई डैश प्लस क्यू वाई इज इक्वल टू एक्स. ओके, सो दिस इज अ सेकंड ऑर्डर डिफरेंशियल इक्वेशन. नाउ मान लो कि अगर इस सॉल्यूशन का कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री फंक्शन इज इक्वल टू c1 इंटू y1 प्लस c2 into y2, for example. okay, so normally when you differentiate this, we'll get two functions like this. If you have a second order differential equation, then if you solve the second order differential equation, the complementary function will be sum of two parts. correct? so c1x e power minus x plus c2 e power minus x. वैसे होता है कि c1 into y1 some solution, some function in terms of x plus c2 into some function in terms of x. okay, so अगर आपको c1 y1 plus c2 y2 solution है तो हम एक डिटरमिनेंट कैलकुलेट करते हैं. सो Wronskian, इसको बोलते हैं कि Wronskian of Wronskian, and this value is y1 y2 y1 dash y2 dash. okay, so y1 y2 y2 y1 dash y2 dash. एग्जाम में आप टाइम वेस्ट मत करना. लुक, बहुत लोग एग्जाम में सोचता है कि अगर y2 यहाँ आते हैं या यहाँ. ओके, सो किसी जगह पे सब्स्टिट्यूट किया तो सेम आंसर ही आएगा क्योंकि डिटरमिनेंट ऑफ ए मैट्रिक्स इज सेम एज द डिटरमिनेंट ऑफ इट्स ट्रांसपोज, है ना. सो अगर आपने y2 यहाँ सब्स्टिट्यूट करके मतलब ये दोनों टर्म्स को उल्टा करना है तो भाई हमको सेम रिजल्ट मिलेगा. ठीक है, ओके, सो दिस इज एक्चुअली द Wronskian. सो हम पर्टिकुलर इंटीग्रल कैसे करते हैं? yp इज इक्वल टू माइनस y1 इंटू इंटीग्रल x इंटू y2 बाई Wronskian dx प्लस y2 इंटू इंटीग्रल y1x बाई Wronskian dx. ओके, सो ये ऐसे हम पर्टिकुलर इंटीग्रल कैलकुलेट करते हैं किसी भी डिफरेंशियल इक्वेशन को. करेक्ट? सो प्लीज टाइप इन द चैट बॉक्स, इज दिस क्लियर टू ऑल ऑफ यू? ओके, Mahvish, Roshan, Nevan, Mainak, all of you guys, Harshal, Yash, Nitin, Ashwin, Ramanujan, all of you. So please type in the chat box. Clear? Okay, so this is Wronskian and ऐसे हम पर्टिकुलर इंटीग्रल कैलकुलेट करते हैं एंड हमारे पास कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री फंक्शन भी है. सो टोटल सॉल्यूशन क्या होता है? टोटल सॉल्यूशन इज yc प्लस yp. ओके, सो ऐसे हम पूरा सॉल्यूशन कैलकुलेट करते हैं. ठीक है, फाइन. Because yesterday in yesterday's class I forgot to tell this. Okay, because we were looking at some other things and I missed this accidentally. So now it will be fine. Okay, so आगे क्वेश्चन चलेंगे. The unit normal vector to the level surface x square y plus 2xz is equal to 4. So हमारे पास एक सरफेस था. इस सरफेस का इक्वेशन क्या है? phi of xyz is equal to constant. Okay, so what is the equation of this surface? x square y plus 2xz, x square y plus 2xz, x square y plus 2xz is equal to 4. so इस सरफेस में एक पॉइंट था ये पॉइंट का कोऑर्डिनेट्स क्या है, इस पॉइंट का कोऑर्डिनेट्स क्या होते हैं 2 - 2 3, ओके सो 2 - 2 3, करेक्ट। वो क्या बोल रहे, द यूनिट नॉर्मल वेक्टर टू ए लेवल सरफेस। नाउ इफ यू सी यूनिट नॉर्मल वेक्टर, यूनिट वेक्टर का मतलब क्या है, मैग्नीट्यूड कितना होना चाहिए। अगर मैंने बताया कि एक वेक्टर यूनिट वेक्टर है तो उसका मैग्नीट्यूड क्या होना चाहिए, सो प्लीज टाइप इन द चैट बॉक्स व्हाट शुड बी द मैग्नीट्यूड ऑफ एनी यूनिट वेक्टर। So type in the chat box quickly. What should be the magnitude of any unit vector? What should be the magnitude of any unit vector? 1, correct. So अगर आपको नॉर्मल वेक्टर चाहिए तो हम क्या करते हैं, इस सरफेस का ग्रेडियंट कैलकुलेट करते हैं, करेक्ट, ग्रेडियंट ऑफ फाई एट पी। सो अगर इसी डायरेक्शन में यूनिट वेक्टर चाहिए तो हम क्या करते हैं, अगर आपको यूनिट वेक्टर चाहिए तो हम क्या करते हैं, एन कैप। So n cap is actually equal to gradient of phi at p divided by इनके magnitude से divide करना है, okay, gradient of phi at p, okay, so that's what we have to do here, okay, so del of this gradient of this function phi at this point p divided by magnitude of the gradient at this function, okay, so let us calculate the magnitude. Del phi at p is equal to, what is del phi, first of all if you differentiate this function, dou by dou x of this complete equation is will gives you 2xy plus 2z into I bar plus, now y term if you differentiate with respect to y, x square z bar plus if you differentiate with respect to z partially 2x k bar, okay, so we have to calculate this at this point 2 comma minus 2 comma 3, okay, so 2 comma minus 2 comma 3, so अगर आपने सब्स्टिट्यूट किया तो 2 into minus 2, so 2 2s are 4, 4 2s are minus 8, so minus 8 plus 2 3s are 6 I bar plus x square का वैल्यू कितना होता है 4, करेक्ट, एंड 2x का वैल्यू भी 4 होता है 4 k bar, so 2i minus 2i plus 4j plus 4k, this is the unit, I mean this is the normal vector at that particular point, okay, so magnitude we want n cap, so n cap का वैल्यू del phi at p divided by magnitude of del phi at p, so इस वेक्टर का मैग्नीट्यूड क्या होता है, स्क्वायर रूट ऑफ 2 स्क्वायर which is 4 plus 16 plus 16 divided by minus 2i bar plus 4j bar plus 4k bar, okay, so now this is 6 actually, so that's why this becomes minus 1 by 3i plus 2 by 3j plus 2 by 3k, okay, so this is the unit normal vector to that particular surface at that point, okay, so we have to calculate the gradient of the function actually, and we have to, since they are asking you for the unit vector, we have to divide the gradient with actually the magnitude of the vector, clear, so option A will be the correct answer in that case, okay, so option A here is the correct answer, okay, sorry, fine, this is the correct answer, okay, now let us go to the next question, clear. A function f of x is defined as f of x is equal to cos of sin x minus cos x divided by x square if x not equal to 0 and f of 0 is equal to a. If f of x is continuous at x equal to 0 then a is equal to dash, okay, function हमें थोड़ा complicated दिया था, cos of sin x actually, so let us write that. f of x इसका वैल्यू कितना है, cos x of sin x minus cos x divided by x square, okay, so this term divided with x square actually when x not equal to 0 and 0 when x is equal to 0 actually, correct, this is equal to 0 when x is equal to 0. So method of variation of solution is important or just on-scan calculation enough. Sometimes they ask you only for the on-scan value, but normally in XC level and mechanical level using on-scan very few questions are there, okay, that too at very before something around 2015-16 उस time पे है, okay, recent years में on-scan का method से questions नहीं पूछा था, लेकिन on-scan का definition you know to learn this it's a bit important for you, clear. So now this is the function, okay, so exactly at 0 this is a, correct, this is not 0, this is a at x is equal to 0, so this f of x is continuous at x is equal to 0 then a is equal to dash. एक छोटा सा simple question calculus से, लेकिन इस limit calculus करना थोड़ा मुश्किल है. So if you see for continuity at x is equal to 0 limit extends to a, f of x is equal to f of, sorry, limit extends to 0 at f of x is equal to f of 0, correct? So limit x tends to 0, f of x should be equal to f of 0. So now what is this limit x tends to 0? Tell me one thing. I want to just ask you one thing. If you are writing limit x tends to 0, is x value equal to 0? If you are writing limit x tends to 0, is x value equal to 0? So type in the chat box. If you are telling x is tending to 0, then I am asking you, is the value of x equal to 0? No, correct? X is not equal to 0. Yes, it is tending to 0. Means basically, if you see carefully, if you observe carefully, if this is 0, then this point is actually x is equal to 0. But whenever I am telling x tends to 0, if you take some neighborhood close to 0, then x is somewhere in this point. Okay, we will discuss this concept in a much detailed way later. So limit x tends to 0. Now tell me, whenever x is not equal to 0, out of these two, what should I choose for my f of x? This question, huh? Because if this is exactly at x is equal to 0, f of x is here. But whenever x is not equal to 0, this is the function. So limit x tends to 0, cos of sin x minus cos x divided by x square. Okay, so divided by x square is equal to x minus cos x by x square is equal to this should be equal to f of 0. So f of 0 का वैल्यू कितना है? ये. Okay, so basically हमको ये लिमिट का वैल्यू चाहिए. So ये is equal to limit x tends to 0, cos of sin x minus cos x divided by x square. Okay, now अगर इस लिमिट में डायरेक्ट 0 सब्स्टिट्यूट किया तो क्या होता है? Cos of sin 0, 0 minus cos 0 divided by 0 square. So this is of the form 0 by 0. So we go for L hospital. This implies A is equal to limit x tends to 0. So इस फंक्शन को हम कैसे डिफरेंशिएट करते हैं? Cos of sin x. Okay, so minus sin of sin x into differentiation of this inner derivative sin x is actually cos x minus derivative of cos x is minus sin x. So plus sin x divided by 2x actually here. Okay, so this divided with 2x and of course this complete value divided with 2x. Now if you again substitute x is equal to 0 in this equation, then what comes out here? If you put again x is equal to 0, sin 0 is 0, so this complete term becomes 0 and denominator also becomes 0. So again this is one more 0 by 0 form. Now third differentiation has to be little carefully done. A is equal to limit x tends to 0. Now differentiate this again. So if you differentiate this again, this is product of two functions. Okay, so minus first function sin of sin x into derivative of cos x is minus sin x plus second function cos x into derivative of this first function. माइनस मैंने कॉमन लिया था, so sin of sin x का डेरिवेटिव क्या होता है? Cos of sin x into sin x का inner derivative one more cos x. Okay, so this is the total derivative of this function plus sin x का डेरिवेटिव क्या होता है? Cos x divided by 2. Correct? Because अगर आपने 2x को डिफरेंशिएट किया तो 2 आएगा with respect to x. So this is 2. Now if you put x is equal to 0 here, A is equal to, if you put x is equal to 0, this complete term is 0. Correct? This first term whichever is here is 0 because sin 0 is 0, 0 into sin 0 is again 0 plus cos 0 is 1, this is also 0, so cos 0 is 1, this is also cos 0 1. So total 1 into 1 into 1 is 1, but there is a minus sign here, so minus 1 plus when you put cos 0 that is 1 divided by 2. So the correct answer is actually 0. Okay, so A का value 0 होना चाहिए definitely. Clear? The value of A should be 0. Okay, previously I was writing 0 here, correct? You might have observed, na? I was writing 0 and I have erased because when I was seeing this question, by looking at this question and seeing the continuity, I came to know that the answer is 0. So that's why instead of calculating all this, the calculations in my mind has made me to write 0 here immediately. Okay, but actually I want to explain you, so I have erased that and done some procedure. Okay, which topics do you think we should be revised after analyzing the recently conducted papers? Okay, so calculus is always one highly weighted topic, and basically some questions from probability and statistics, and of course we can also have some questions from numerical methods is again one chapter where you will definitely get a question many times, and matrices of course. Okay, so if you do this, you will get easily some 6 to 7 marks out of 15 marks. And remaining topics like differential equations, vector calculus, I suggest you to study vector calculus and complex calculus because things are very easy and simplified in those two. So definitely you can end up with some 9 to 10 marks easily, and if you complete the if you can cover the complete syllabus easily, you can get 15 out of 15 in XC as well. Okay, no issue. So let's go for the next question. Okay, so answer is anyhow 0 for this question. Okay, so the only thing is calculation of this differentiation of this function is slightly, if you miss some plus or minus signs anywhere, then you will actually face issues. Okay, otherwise things are very fine. Clear? So let's go to the next question. One more differential equation. Given that dy by dx plus 2xy is equal to 4, y of 0 equal to 0.2, find y of 0,1 using Euler's method. Okay, so Euler's method with step size h is equal to 0.1. Look, I'll tell you one thing. Sir, which topics I told you? So matrices properties kindly mention most important, sir. Okay, आप जितना का है वो enough है या फिर कुछ और करना है? I think this is sufficient. Okay, if you can solve all these questions, definitely that could be enough, because even at this point you won't have time to do or study new topics. Okay, 3 दिन में एग्जाम है, so इसलिए इस क्लास में कितने तक पढ़ा था, you can go for that. Okay, now fine. Okay, so now if you see, look, I want to tell you one important condition. Normally if you are applying Euler's method, what do you say? The stability of the solution. There is one very important concept called stability of the solution. Let me explain you. What is the stability of the solution? Is agar if you have this function dy by dx is equal to some lambda y, okay, minus lambda y or plus lambda y, doesn't matter. Now if you want to calculate, some initial condition could be given, y of 0 is equal to something, okay, some y of alpha is equal to beta, let us say some boundary condition is given, because it's a first order differential equation. Now if you see, one to calculate this, and let us suppose if I am asking you some y of alpha plus 5, some alpha plus 1 or something like that, then step size, what you should see, basically if you apply this formula, yi plus 1 is equal to yi plus h into f of xi yi. Okay, now basically sometimes what happens is, if you go deep into the numerical methods, okay, differential equation solving techniques, what happens is this step size selection is very important. Okay, because if my step size is 0.2, then I'll get the answer quickly. If my step size is 0.4, then I'll get answer much more quickly, correct? Because if I want to go from 0 to 2, then with a step size of 0.1, I need to do 20 iterations. Okay, but if I take a step size of 0.5, only 4 iterations will take me to x is equal to 2. Okay, but there is certain limitation on choosing the maximum step size. Okay, so in this case, for stability of the solution, what do we call stability of solution is, normally these values yi plus 1 values, they actually fluctuate a lot. Okay, when you take some improper step size, okay, some very large very big step size if you take, then what happens, this yi plus 1 values will keep on fluctuating actually, okay, from the actual value. So for the stability of the solution, this step size should be definitely less than or equal to 2 by modulus of lambda. Okay, a question mechanical में भी आया था इस साल. So basically this step size should be less than or equal to 2 by mod lambda. Okay, modified Euler के जगह Vangi-Kutta second order method ले सकते हैं. Yes, both are same. Okay, modified Euler और Vangi-Kutta second order method, both are same. Clear? Now if you see, anyhow, this is the story, something I thought of just giving this point from Euler's method, because yesterday I didn't give you. So step size definitely 2 by mod lambda से कम होना चाहिए, ठीक है, अगर आपका solution stable होना है तो. Now anyhow, so let us solve this question. Basically this is just some example that I have given you, some good point, technical point I have given you. Okay, now if you see, anyway, so let us solve this question. dy by dx is equal to 4 minus 2xy. Okay, 4 minus 2xy, this is some function f of x comma y. Let us take initial condition दिया था हमको, y of 0 is equal to 0 point and step size is equal to 0.1. हमको क्या चाहिए, y of 0.1 चाहिए. Okay, so only first iteration value directly. So yi plus 1 is equal to yi plus h into f of xi yi. Euler forward iteration if you follow directly, y of xi yi. So yi plus 1, which is nothing but y of 0.1 is equal to y at 0 plus step size 0.1 times of this function f of xi. So xi का value कितना है, 0, and yi का value 0.2. Okay, now if you calculate this value, y of 0.1 is equal to y of 0. So y of 0 is 0.2 plus 0.1 times of f of 0.0, 0 comma 0.2. So 4 minus 2 times of 0 into 0.2. Okay, now this equation has this term 0 basically. So this implies y of 0.1 is equal to 0.2 plus this is 4 times of 0.1, so 0.4. So total 0.6 is the simple answer for this. Okay, so this is actually simple question, but I thought of keeping this question to teach you that point. Okay, otherwise I'll forget that again in today's session also. Okay, so just to keep that, I have kept one simple question on this case. So for this question, what will be lambda? Okay, so generally that is, look, whatever I told you, that will be for the case of only they are called eigenvalue problems. Okay, so for this question the analysis is something different. Okay, for this question it's very complicated, generating Taylor series. Okay, we have to deal in two variables, but there since the function is only of single variable, we'll do that analysis actually. Okay, when I take some comprehensive course on differential equations or YouTube or somewhere, I'll definitely cover that. Okay, but right now keep that in mind, those problems which are told as dy by dx is equal to minus lambda y, these are called normally this eigenvalue problems, lambda is called eigenvalue there. Okay, so we will actually there are the stability conditions for this differential equation then. Okay, now let us go for the next question. Okay, so let us see this question. Consider the following system of linear equations: x plus y plus z is equal to 6, x plus 2y plus 3z is equal to 10. Okay, x plus 2y plus lambda z is equal to mu. If the system of linear equation has two or more solutions, means basically if the system has infinitely many solutions, out of these things which are correct. Okay, so let us see. I think this is an MSQ. I have framed an MSQ here. MSQ. Okay, I think one to more than things are correct. Now what are the equations? X plus y plus z is equal to 6. Okay, so x plus y plus z is equal to 6. Okay, so x plus y plus z is equal to 6. Then x plus 2y plus 3z is equal to 10. X plus 2y plus 3z is equal to 10. And what is the last equation? X plus 2y plus lambda z. X plus 2y plus lambda z is equal to mu actually here. Okay, so these are the three equations. So please write order fitting polynomial, trapezoidal and others. So kindly mention important properties from linear algebra. Okay, yeah, I'll discuss them. Question is not fully visible, is it? Question is not fully visible na, to you? Just type in the chat box. Is question completely visible to all of you? Ramanujan, Shubham, both of you got the same issue. So question is not fully visible. Please zoom out camera. सभी को ये issue आए? Right side cut, yes, left side cut. Okay, just a minute. I'll call the technician. Camera. क्वेश्चन कुछ कट हुआ है एक्चुअली राइट एंड्स पे, बच्चों ने चार्ट किया एंड लाइट्स भी बंद हुआ एक्चुअली. Okay, so meanwhile let us continue the session actually. Okay, so question, this camera adjustment is being done actually now. Fine. So please type in the chat box. Still is the question getting cut to you? थोड़ा move I think. Right hand cut हुआ है ना? थोड़ा zoom out कर लो. हाँ. अभी भी कट हुआ है. थोड़ा zoom out कर लो. हाँ. चलेगा. चार्ट ओपन कर लो. So now it's fine. So please type in the chat box. Now question is not getting cut, right? It is fine now. Okay. Yeah. So let us solve this question basically. So हमारे पास तीन equations था. So if you want to have infinitely many solutions, first of all A का मैट्रिक्स क्या होता है? कोएफिशिएंट मैट्रिक्स है ना. So 1 1 1 1 2 3 1 2 lambda. Okay, and A augmented B, A मैट्रिक्स क्या होता है? A augmented B होता है कि 1 1 1 1 2 3 1 2 lambda and 6 10 mu. Okay, 6 10 mu is what you will get here. So infinitely many solutions के लिए क्या होना चाहिए? For infinitely many solutions, for infinitely many solutions, rank of A should be equal to rank of A augmented B. Yeah, 3 equations and 3 unknowns, so definitely it should be less than 3 actually here. Okay, so now tell me one thing, अगर मैट्रिक्स A का रैंक 3 से कम होना है तो डिटरमिनेंट ऑफ A क्या होना चाहिए? So please type it in the chat box. So please type in the chat box. If rank of A should be less than 3, what should be the value of determinant of A? 0 होना चाहिए ना. So 3/3 का डिटरमिनेंट कितना होना है? 0, करेक्ट. So अगर इस डिटरमिनेंट को हमें 0 को इक्वेट करना है तो 1 1 1 1 2 3 1 2 lambda actually here. Okay, so this is equal to 0. Definitely, if you see, if you calculate this determinant value directly, this is a 3/3 matrix, so directly I'm calculating 1 times of 2 lambda minus 6 minus 1 times of, you can apply this transformation, R3 changes to R3 minus R2, all these things, you will get simple determinant, but since it's a simple 3/3 determinant, I'm calculating directly. So lambda minus 3 plus 1 times of, this is 0 actually. Okay, 2 minus 2 0. So इससे lambda का value क्या होता है? So 2 lambda minus 6 minus lambda plus 3 is equal to 0. Okay, so 2 lambda minus lambda is equal to 6 minus 3, this is 3. Okay, so lambda का value होता है कि 3. Okay, so lambda is equal to 3. So you can replace this lambda is equal to 3. Now tell me one more thing. If you see, rank of A augmented B should also be less than 3. If rank of A augmented B should also be less than 3, then definitely what should happen? All 3/3 minus of A augmented B should be 0, correct? So this should be 0 actually here. So this should be 0. So one thing that you can clearly understand here is, if you know, if two rows of a matrix are equal, then definitely the determinant value is 0. So from this we know that this value, agar is value 10 hua to, then definitely second row and third row becomes equal, and definitely this matrix will become 0, correct? So the determinant value becomes 0 actually here. Clear? So type in the chat box. Correct? So did you all get these values? Mu equal to 10 and lambda is equal to 3, correct? So type in the chat box. Rank of a matrix shortcut is basically to calculate the O echelon form. Okay, so अगर आपने O echelon form calculate किया तो number of non-zero rows in echelon form is actually equal to rank of the matrix. Clear? अब ठीक है ना? नहीं, अभी ठीक है. Thank you. Fine. Okay, so Saurabh, Nitin, Rashid, Himanshu. So please type in the chat box. Is this clear to all of you? So basically, अगर rank of this matrix A augmented B 3 से कम होना चाहिए तो ये मैट्रिक्स का सभी 3/3 माइनस क्या होना चाहिए? 0 होना चाहिए ना. So what should happen here? Definitely these two rows, if they are equal, then definitely determinant all basically all the minus will become 0. Okay, so that's why this mu should be equal to 10. Okay, so that's why if mu is equal to 10 and lambda is equal to 3 actually here. So mu is equal to 10 and lambda is equal to 3, correct? Now if you take this, mu is equal to 10 and lambda is equal to 3, now हम options verify करेंगे. Lambda plus lambda square plus mu. So lambda square plus mu is equal to 9 plus 10, which is 19. So lambda square plus mu का value 19. Okay, so this statement is correct. Lambda plus mu is equal to 15. No, wrong, because if you see, lambda is 3, mu is 10. So 10 plus 3 is actually 13, but not 15. So this statement is correct. Magnitude of lambda minus mu is 7. Yes, correct, because 3 minus 10 is minus 7. So magnitude of minus 7, modulus of minus 7 is actually 7. So that's why A, C, D are correct answers, लेकिन B गलत है. Okay, क्योंकि यहाँ sum कितने होते हैं? 13 होते हैं. Okay, so 15 is actually wrong answer. Okay, so A, C, D are the correct statements in this particular question. Okay, so type in the chat box. Is this clear to all of you? So this is an MSQ, as I told, because I myself have said this question, I know. So MSQ. Okay, A, C, D are the correct options. Fine. Mulli Prashant. Is Televa Poinjitu, sir? Fine. Yes. Clear? Okay. So let's go for the next question. Yeah, this is one good question. the volume bounded by the cylinder x square plus y square is equal to 9 and the planes y plus z is equal to 4 and z is equal to 0 will be dash. Okay, so हमारे पास planes है y is z is equal to 0 which is xy plane and और एक दूसरा plane. Okay, and there is some curve in the xy coordinate system x square plus y square is equal to 9 actually. Okay, now they are asking you what is the volume of the solid bounded by these curves actually. Okay, so let us see. मैं आपको कोऑर्डिनेट सिस्टम डॉक बना के दिखाता हूं. देखिए एक्स वाई जेड एक्स वाई जेड एक्स वाई जेड. सो मान लो कि हमें क्लॉकवाइज लिया तो एक्स वाई एंड जेड. ओके, एक्स वाई जेड. नाउ जेड इज इक्वल टू 0 is basically xy plane, so the base plane, and top y plus z is equal to 4. This is one more plane. Okay, so let us suppose if you have y plus z is equal to 4, you got some other plane. For example, let us suppose you got some other plane, something like this. Okay, so this is one plane, y plus z is equal to 4 for example, and let us not draw exactly like this, some arbitrary plane let us say. Okay, so let us suppose this plane is some y plus z is equal to 4 and this is actually the xy plane. Okay, so basically z is equal to 0. Okay, so this plane, the horizontal plane, is xy plane over which z is equal to 0. So x square plus y square is equal to 9. So on horizontal plane you got a circle. Okay, so on horizontal plane you got a circle actually, because x square plus y square is equal to 9 will be a circle here. So they are asking you if you project this, if you calculate this value, because look, it need not be exact cylinder. Okay, why it need not be an exact cylinder? Because if you see carefully, on this location on horizontal plane xy is constant, but on top plane there can be some projections. Okay, so that's why you cannot actually calculate the volume of cylinder. Okay, because the base is actually circular but the top is actually not a circular. Okay, so now if you calculate the volume, हम volume कैसे calculate करते हैं? Triple integral, correct? So solution, volume is equal to 3 integrals बनाना है. So dz dy dx normally. Okay, so dz dy dx. So now if you see basically dz, so what are the limits of z? Bottom is basically this horizontal plane, so z is equal to 0 to, on the top the plane is y plus z is equal to 4. So z का value क्या होता है? y minus 4, sorry 4 minus y, correct? So this is 4 minus y is the limits. So हम थोड़ा space देके लिखेंगे. Fine, y का limits क्या होते हैं? y is equal to minus plus or minus root of 9 minus x square actually here, correct? So y का value minus 9 minus root of 9 minus x square to y is equal to root of 9 minus x square, and x का value क्या होता है? x changes from minus 3 to plus 3, correct? So x changes from minus 3 to plus 3 because it's a circle actually here in xy plane, so x changes from minus 3 to plus 3. हम actually ट्रिपल इंटीग्रल कैलकुलेट करना है. ओके, सो वॉल्यूम के लिए डायरेक्ट. अभिषेक गौतम तले भाई समझ आया सॉन्ग वाला वॉल्यूम 27. ओके, सो फाइन, लेट अस सॉल्व दिस क्वेश्चन. सो बेसिकली दिस इज हाउ वी राइट द लिमिट्स. ओके, सो लिमिट्स कैसे लिखा हमने? दिस बेस. ओके, सो लुक, इफ यू सी द टॉप व्यू ऑफ दिस you will basically see some cycle, correct? So x and y, or basically x ये होता है and y will be this. So x limits will actually change from minus 3 to plus 3. That's why these are the limits, and y values will change from 9 minus root of x minus 9 minus root of x square, and this is plus minus plus root of 9 minus x square. So this is the integration that we can calculate. Okay, so how do we calculate this value? V is equal to integral minus 3 to 3, of course x limits, and y is changing from minus root of 9 minus x square to y is equal to root of 9 minus x square. Now if you integrate this, integration of dz is actually z, so z within this limits is 4 minus y dy dx. Okay, now here if you see this integral, this inner integral, then this y is actually odd function. Okay, and here this is minus root of something, so plus root of something, so this corresponding value to y will be an odd function, so this won't be having any impact in this integration, correct? So this function don't have any impact in the integration, because if you see carefully, then this is actually odd function, and if y is odd function but the limits are like minus a to a, then this will get 0. So this integration is actually equal to v is equal to integral minus 3 to 3, integral minus 3 to 3. So 4 times of, or 2 times of 4, 2 times of 4 into integration of dy is nothing but y. So root of 9 minus x square, 9 minus x square. So this is what you get. So this can be written into dx, of course. So into dx. So this can be written as 16 times of integral 0 to 3 root of 9 minus x square dx is what you can write here. Because if you take these constants out, integral minus 3 to 3, this is an even function. So integral minus 3 to 3 can be written as 2 times of integral 0 to 3. Okay. So now if you do this calculation, 16 into, now what will be the integration of this term? Integral root of a square minus x square dx. So what will be this value? किसी को पता है? So इस इंटीग्रेशन होता है कि x by 2 times of root of a square minus x square plus a square by 2 times of sin inverse x by a. Okay, ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट इंटीग्रल है क्योंकि हम एरिया ऑफ एलिप्स, एरिया ऑफ सर्किल, ये दोनों यही इंटीग्रल से कैलकुलेट करते हैं. ठीक है. सो अगर आपने सब्स्टिट्यूट किया तो x by 2 into root of 9 minus x square plus a square by 2. So a square by 2 is how much? 9 by 2 into sin inverse x by 3 within the limits. Limits क्या होते हैं? 0 to 3. Correct. So limits are from 0 to 3. Okay. So limits are from 0 to 3. So if you now calculate this, 16 times of, when you put x is equal to 3, this term goes to 0. Okay, because this term will go to 0 into 9 by 2 into sin inverse of 3 by 3, sin inverse of 1, which is pi by 2 actually. Okay, so this is pi by 2 minus when you put x is equal to 0, this term is 0 and sin inverse of 0 is also 0. So this is 0 total. So this is 36 times of pi actually. Okay, so 36 times of pi is actually the correct value here. So 36 times of pi is the volume of this particular solid. Okay, so 36 pi is what actually? 36 into pi. Okay, so pi, this gives you 113.09. Okay, so 113.09 if you round off 1 cubic units, because nothing is mentioned. So that's how we can actually calculate. Okay, so did you all understand why I cannot calculate the volume of the cylinder? Because base is like a circle, but on the top the plane can be some inclined plane. Okay, so whenever the plane is an inclined plane, you cannot actually draw it a circle. It's like extrusion of circle up to y is equal to 4. So just calculate volume of the cylinder. That's what I'm telling you, Nitin. We cannot actually calculate the volume of the cylinder directly, because actually क्या होता है, base is a circle but top need not be a circle. Okay, मान लो कि अगर ये bottle है for example, so इसका बेस सर्किल था. अगर मैंने इस बॉटल को प्रोजेक्शन लिया तो टॉप, अगर मेरा प्लेन इंक्लाइंड है तो सिलेंडर नहीं बनाएगा ना, और कुछ सॉलिड बनाएगा. फाइन. So that's why we have taken this triple integration. Clear? 36 times of pi is actually the correct answer of this question. Okay. So let us go for the next question. The Fourier series of this. Acha, yesterday we have solved this. Na, pi square by 8 is the answer anyhow. Okay. So in yesterday's class we have solved this. I think by mistake again it came. Okay, limits repeat karna hai. Okay. So see here. How to write the limits? First of all, z limits. Okay. So z is changing from z is equal to 0 to z is equal to 4 minus y. Okay. Then y limits. So basically from this equation, y limits in terms of x. So y क्या होता है? Plus or minus root of 9 minus x square. So minus root of 9 minus x square to plus root of 9 minus x square. So what are the maximum and minimum values of x on this circle? Minus 3 comma plus 3. Correct? X का maximum and minimum values कब होता है? If you replace y is equal to 0, then x square is equal to 9. So x is equal to plus or minus 3. So limits change from x is equal to minus 3 to x is equal to plus 3. Clear? Okay. Fine. So please type in the chat box. Is this clear to all of you? Okay. So next, 36 times of pi, which is 113.1 cubic meters, is the correct answer here. So this question we have solved yesterday, pi square by 8 directly. So we have done this x is equal to 0 in this Fourier series expansion, correct? So that's why we are directly going. Now this, the value of the series sigma k equal to 1 to infinity k square by k factorial. So what is the value of this series? लगता है ये Fourier series का क्वेश्चन फिर से आने वाला है एग्जाम में on 11th. या इफ इट कम देन इट्स वेरी गुड. ओके, अगर आए तो डायरेक्टली आंसर pi square by 8 मार्क कर लो. ठीक है. सो लेट अस सी दिस क्वेश्चन. sigma k is equal to 1 to infinity k square by k factorial. So इसका वैल्यू क्या होता है, दिस इज अ इन्फिनिट सीरीज बेसिकली. ओके, सो इफ दिस इज एन इन्फिनिट सीरीज, इस सीरीज का वैल्यू क्या होता है, कभी भी किया इस समेशन को. सो सिविल पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक्स सेम लाइक नॉर्मल क्लासिकल टॉपिक्स. ओके, सिविल में थोड़ा सिलेबस कम है एक्चुअली, कॉम्प्लेक्स वेरिएबल्स नहीं है, सो इसलिए आपका सिलेबस बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग. फाइन, इस इंडिकेशन दिस समेशन को कभी नहीं देखा. फाइन, एक्चुअली दिस समेशन इज सम पार्ट ऑफ कैलकुलेटिंग वेरिएंस ऑफ पॉइजन डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन. ओके, सो मैं आपको पढ़ाता हूँ, जब मैंने आपको पॉइजन डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन पढ़ाता है उस टाइम पे मैं पढ़ाता हूँ, लेकिन अभी तक याद रख लो ये समेशन एक्चुअली पॉइजन डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन में जब हम वेरिएंस कैलकुलेट करते हैं उस टाइम पे एक ये समेशन आएगा. ओके, सो लेट अस सी व्हाट इज दिस समेशन वैल्यू. सो दिस कैन बी रिटन एज सिग्मा k is equal to 1 to infinity k square divided by k into k minus 1 factorial. Okay, so k into k minus 1 factorial. So हमें एक k and square को cancel करते हैं. So this can be written as sigma k is equal to 1 to infinity k by k minus 1 factorial. So इसको हम क्या करते हैं, k minus 1 plus 1 करके. So this can be written as sigma k equal to 1 to infinity LCM common. So इस न्यूमरेटर को हमें दो टर्म्स से स्प्लिट करते हैं, k minus 1 by k minus 1 factorial plus sigma k equal to 1 to infinity 1 by k minus 1 factorial. Okay, so इससे हम स्प्लिट करते हैं एक्चुअली. ओके, सो k minus 1 plus 1 एक थोड़ा सा एडजस्टमेंट करते हैं यहाँ. सो अगर आपने एडजस्टमेंट किया तो इस समेशन को दो अलग समेशन से स्प्लिट करते हैं. ओके, सो नाउ इफ यू सी we can calculate this k minus 1 and this k minus 1 factorial can be written as k minus 2 factorial. Okay, now since summation this factorial is not defined for 1 to infinity, what we write this can be written as k is equal to 2 to infinity 1 by k minus 2 factorial plus sigma k is equal to 1 to infinity 1 by k minus 1 factorial. Okay, so अगर आपने k equal to 2 substitute किया तो 1 by 0 factorial 1 plus 1 by 3 minus 2 1 factorial plus 1 by 2 factorial plus 1 by 3 factorial and so on. Similarly ये होता है कि 1 by 0 factorial, so 1 plus 1 by 1 factorial plus 1 by 2 factorial plus 1 by 3 factorial and so on. Okay, so this term is nothing but e plus this is one more e, so total 2 times of e is the correct answer here. Okay, so 2 times of e is the summation value of this particular series. Clear? So please type in the chat box, is this clear to all of you? Okay, so 2 times of e is actually the correct answer. Okay, so this series basically we use, itna time lagega, look hardly we have done 3-4 steps. Okay, 1 2 3, that's it, nothing much. Clear? So 2 times ka e, so 2 into exponent e here. Okay, so 2e is 5.436. 5.436 is the value of that summation. 5.436. Okay, 5.436 is the correct answer. Yes, ठीक है. This equation is actually very simple. Okay, what I've done, we have actually solved in just hardly 2.5 minutes. Okay, so basically we have splitted that, then we have done the expansion, that's it. Okay, Harshal, basically what I have told is, look, k square by k factorial, so I have cancelled 1 k. K factorial can be written as, look, k factorial को हम कैसे लिखते हैं, k into k minus 1 factorial है ना. So if you cancel 1 k here, this k cancels this k, so k by k minus 1 factorial. So न्यूमरेटर में k है ना, so इस k को हमें थोड़ा एडजस्टमेंट किया था, माइनस 1 प्लस 1 ऐड किया था. ओके, सो इफ यू डू माइनस 1 एंड प्लस 1 देन दिस इज टोटली k. सो इस समेशन को हमें दो अलग समेशन से स्प्लिट करते हैं. सो सिग्मा k इक्वल टू 1 टू इन्फिनिटी k minus 1 डिवाइडेड बाय k minus 1 factorial प्लस 1 by k minus 1 factorial. ओके, नाउ इस समेशन को हम वैसा ही आएगा, बट वी हैव स्लाइटली मॉडिफाइड दिस समेशन. दिस k minus 1 can be written as k minus 1 into k minus 2 factorial. So k minus 1 and k minus 1 gets cancelled. So 1 by k minus 2 factorial. This gives you 1 plus, if you put k equal to 2, 1 by 0 factorial 1 plus, if you put k equal to 3, 1 by 1 factorial plus, when you put k equal to 4, 1 by 2 factorial. Similarly this series will go on. Okay, and this is nothing but exponential series, correct? Because Taylor series क्या होते हैं, exponential function का e power x is actually equal to 1 plus x by 1 factorial plus x square by 2 factorial plus x cube by 3 factorial plus x power 4 by 4 factorial plus and so on infinity तक चलते हैं. Okay, so this is the expansion for e power x. So अगर आपने x की place में 1 substitute किया तो e power 1 is actually equal to this summation. Similarly here also this is summation of e. So e plus e gives you 2 times of exponential term. Okay, so 2e. सर अगर एडजस्टमेंट हिट ना करे एग्जाम टाइम में सर क्या करते हैं? लुक आई विल टेल यू. यस, I took up to 5 and calculated to get 5.375. That's it, exactly. Okay, so what happens is normally they ask you to round off up to 3 decimal places or something. So if you add this series, okay, for example 1 by 1 factorial 1, if you put 2, 2 square by 2 factorial, okay, so 4 by 2 plus within first 5-6 terms you actually get the very close value. Okay, so in exam if something don't get strike to you, so then the best thing that can happen is actually you can consider some 6 to 7 terms sum until 3 decimal places gets matched. Okay, so let us suppose if they ask you some till 3 decimal places, now you need to check some terms, some 5 to 6 terms calculation, so that even if you add the 7th term, the first 3 decimals should not change. Okay, so you will do the calculation with the help of calculator and you will enter the answer. Clear? Fine. So please type in the chat box. Is this clear to all of you? एग्जाम ने अगर ये स्प्लिटिंग स्ट्राइक नहीं हुआ तो कैसे करना है सबको पता है ना अभी? Okay, so 5.436 is actually the correct answer. Okay, now देखो this is a complex number. Sorry, this is a complex number. If that adjustment of k equal to 2, how sir? Which adjustment of k equal to? Because factorials are not defined for negative numbers. Okay, अगर मैं को k minus 2 factorial है तो k equal to 1 substitute किया तो minus 1 factorial आएगा ना. So we have deleted one term. Okay. Fine. Now let us see this. If z1 plus z2 whole square is equal to mod z1 square plus mod z2 square, then z1 by z2 is purely real, purely imaginary, a complex number with positive real part and negative imaginary part. It's a one mark question, very simple question. A complex number with negative real part and positive imaginary part. Okay, so हम इस क्वेश्चन को कैसे सॉल्व करते हैं? z1 plus z2 is equal to z1 plus z2 magnitude whole square is equal to individual magnitudes. Look, let me solve this. Let z1 is equal to r1 into e power I theta 1, for example. Okay, so r1 times cos theta 1 plus I sin theta 1, and z2 is equal to, let us say, r2 e power I theta 2. So this is r2 times of cos theta 2 plus I times sin theta 2. Now z1 plus z2 क्या होते हैं? z1 plus z2 क्या होते हैं? अगर हमें रियल पार्ट्स को ऐड करना है तो r1 cos theta 1 प्लस r2 cos theta 2 प्लस I टाइम्स ऑफ r1 sin theta 1 प्लस r2 sin theta 2. Okay, so this is the complex number. Okay, now if you see magnitude of z1 plus z2 whole square, so this is a complex number, so you want to calculate square of the modulus of this complex number. Okay, so normally इस complex number का magnitude क्या होता है? Square root of a real term square plus imaginary term square. Okay, so if you want to square the magnitude, z1 plus mod z2 whole square होता है कि r1 cos theta 1 plus r2 cos theta 2 whole square plus r1 sin theta 1 plus r2 sin theta 2 whole square. Okay, so this is what you get. Now this is equal to, look, if you expand this, you will get r1 square cos square theta 1, r1 square sin square theta 1. So this first two terms will give you r1 square plus similarly r2 square cos square theta 2 plus r2 square sin square theta 2. This again gives you r2 square plus 2 times of r1 r2 into cos theta 1 cos theta 2 minus or plus sin theta 1 sin theta 2. This is what you will be having here. Okay, so sin theta 1 into sin theta 2. Now they have given you in the question that magnitude of z1 plus z2 whole square is equal to squares of individual modulus. Okay, so mod z1 is nothing but this r1 and mod z2 is nothing but this r2. So this is given, this is equal to r1 square plus r2 square actually here. Okay, so r1 square plus r2 square. Now if you see r1 square r2 square, this r1 square r2 square gets cancelled. So this implies cos theta 1, this term is nothing but cos theta 1 minus theta 2. So this is actually 0. So this implies theta 1. Okay, so basically if you see theta 1 minus theta 2 is equal to, correct, so 2 r1 r2 times this expression is equal to 0. So anyhow these two are not 0, so cos theta 1 cos theta 2 plus sin theta 1 sin theta 2 is equal to 0. So cos times of theta 1 minus theta 2 is equal to 0. So theta 1 minus theta 2 is actually pi by 2, correct. So this is actually pi by 2. X plus iy, yeah, if you want you can take x plus iy also. Okay, calculation will be slightly lengthy in that case. Okay, that's why I have taken directly here in terms of polar coordinates, because of taking in polar coordinates this individual modulus square I can directly avoid. Okay, so I can directly replace with r1 square plus r2 square. Okay, so इसलिए मैंने directly लिया था, ठीक है, fine. Directly मैंने क्यों लिया था? To save the calculation at this part. Okay, so इसलिए मैंने polar coordinates में लिया था. क्लियर. अगर आपने x प्लस आई लिया तो यहाँ स्क्वायर रूट ऑफ x1 स्क्वायर प्लस y1 स्क्वायर प्लस x2 स्क्वायर प्लस y2 स्क्वायर करना है, तब भी ये टर्म्स कैंसिल हो जाएगा. ओके, सो नाउ इफ यू सी z1 by z2, z1 by z2 क्या होते हैं? r1 into e power I theta 1 divided by r2 into e power I theta 2. So this is r1 by r2 into e power I times of theta 1 minus theta 2. So r1 by r2 into e power I. So theta 1 minus theta 2 का वैल्यू कितना है? पाई बाय 2 है ना. So this is pi by 2. So this implies r1 by r2 times of cos pi by 2 0 plus I times of sin pi by 2 1. So I times of r1 by r2. So you know one thing, this r1 by r2 is actually purely real number. So I times of that. So z1 by z2 is actually purely imaginary number. Okay, so this is purely imaginary. Clear? Purely imaginary. Okay, so z1 by z2 purely imaginary आएगा. That's it. Okay, simple question. So actually option B is actually the correct answer. This is purely imaginary. Okay, so purely imaginary here. Okay, so basically simple calculation. So basically if you do this calculation, then we can easily get the answer. That's it. B is actually the correct answer. Okay, yeah, B is correct answer. Fine. So let's go for the next question. If the probability that sum of the numbers when a pair of dice is rolled to be k is given by p of sum is equal to k is equal to k minus m by 36 for k less than or equal to 7, n minus k by 36 for k greater than or equal to 8 actually. Okay, where m comma n belongs to integers, positive integers of course. The value of limit extends to n 169 by x square is dash actually. Okay, so अगर इस लिमिट को कैलकुलेट करना है तो n का वैल्यू पता चलना है. Okay, so we need to calculate that value. Let us see. Given two dice are rolled, so probability of sum is equal to k is given by k minus m by 36 for k less than or equal to 7 and n minus k by 36 for k greater than 8 equal to 8. Okay, so n का वैल्यू कैलकुलेट करना है. So n हम कैसे कैलकुलेट करते हैं? Look here. So how do we calculate this n value? Look, you can do this for anything basically. Okay, so whenever sum is equal to 2 for example, okay, so let us take sum is equal to 2, p of sum is equal to 2 will be what? As per this formula क्या होते हैं? K minus, so 2 minus m by 36. Okay, so 2 minus m by 36. So normally what is the probability that sum will be 2? Only 1 by 36, correct? So m value is 1 actually here. So m value is 1. Okay, so m value is 1 because in actual case this value is equal to 1 by 36. Okay, so 2 minus 1 m should be 1, so m is equal to 1. Now let us take sum is equal to 12 for example. Okay, so let us take the extreme cases. So whenever sum has to be 12, so n minus 12, this should be equal to n minus 12 by 36, which is also same as 1 by 36. Okay, because when you roll two dice, then the probability that the sum will be equal to 2, sum will be equal to 12 is actually 1 by 36. So इस equation को हमें solve किया तो n का value 13 आएगा बस. So m is equal to 1, n is equal to 13. So limit extends to n 169 by x square. So this is equal to limit extends to 13 169 by x square, and this value is equal to 1 actually. Okay, so 1 is actually the correct answer. Clear? So 1 is the correct answer. Did you understand the logic? How did I find the m and n values actually? M is 2. Why? 2 minus m is 1. So m should be 1 na? Actually m should be 1. Clear? Did you all understand this? How I have written this basically? So if you see, if you take the two extreme cases, then definitely we can calculate n and capital M values very easily. Okay. Normally in case of a die, this will be equal to k minus 1 by 36 if sum is less than or equal to 7, and 13 minus k by 36 if k greater than or equal to 8. This is the probabilities. Okay. If they ask you some probability of sum is equal to 5 for example, so 5 is less than 7, so 5 minus 1 by 36, 4 by 36 is the correct answer. Okay. After finding m and n, what they did, they are asking to calculate this limit now, x tends to n. So limit x tends to n 169 by x square. This is actually asked in the question. So n ka value pata hai humko, so 13, so I have kept this limit. Okay. Probability of x is equal to 2 is 3 by 36. Is it? How come? Only 1 comma 1 is the only chance to get sum equal to 2. It is 1 by 36. What are the other two elements I am missing? Prashant, so please type in the chat box. The probability of sum is equal to 2. Number of ways that sum can be 2 is only 1 by 36. When you roll a die, you cannot get 0 na? Die can show only from 1 to 6. You cannot get 0. Okay. Right? Die में 0 नहीं दिखाते ना, so इसलिए 1 comma 1 is the only solution. Fine. Okay. So now let us see this question. एक छोटा सा differential equation. So consider the differential equation. Y double dash 4y double dash plus 64y of x is equal to 0, and with initial conditions y of 0 is equal to 0 and y of 0 is equal to 1024. How can this happen? I think here it is dash. Okay, differentiation is missing. So y dash of 0 is equal to 1024. So why 1 by 36? Because when you roll two dice, total number of ways they can fall is 36, and possibilities of getting sum 2 is only one possibility. Okay, only when both the dice fall 1, then only the sum is 2. Okay, so 1 divided by 36 is the probability. Clear? Similarly for 12, if you want to have sum is equal to 12, then both the dice should show actually 6. Clear? Now let us solve this question. It's a simple question basically. Y dash of 0 is equal to 1024. So let us solve this. 4 can cancel it 16 times. So y double dash plus 16 times y is equal to 0. So auxiliary equation क्या होते हैं? M square plus 16 is equal to 0. So m is equal to plus or minus 4 times of I. So if this is 4 times of I, then complementary function is e power, there is no real part, so 0 into x into c1 cos 4x plus c2 sin 4x is what you have here. Okay, so this is c1 cos 4x plus c2 sin 4x. Now if you see, at x is equal to 0, y is equal to 0, so this implies if you put x equal to 0 and y equal to 0 simultaneously in this equation, 0 is equal to e power 0 into 0, so e power 0 is 1 into, when you put x is equal to 0, cos 0 is 1, so c1 plus sin 0 is 0, so 0 into c2 is 0, so this implies c1 value is basically 0 here. Okay, so c1 is actually 0. So your function gets converted to, if c1 is 0, e power 0 into x is 1, so this is 0 and this term is 1, so this answer is c2 times sin 4x is the only solution of this equation. Now to get the value of c2, हमारे पास और एक boundary condition भी है, y dash of 0 is equal to 1024. So this implies if you differentiate this, dy by dx is equal to 4c2 times cos 4x, correct? So at x is equal to 0, this differentiation is 1024. So 1024 is equal to 4 times of c2 into, so if you put x is equal to 0 here, cos 0 is actually 1. So if you simplify this, 4 cancel this, 256 times, correct? So this is 256 because 4 256 is 1000, 4 6 are 24. So c2 is 256. So this constant value c2 is 256. Okay. Now they are asking you dy by dx is equal to this. Okay. So y is equal to 256 times sin 4x. Y is equal to 256 times sin 4x. Now they are asking you y of 1. This implies at x is equal to 1, y का value क्या होता है? Okay. So tell me one thing. If you want to keep x is equal to 1, so थोड़ा slow. Okay. So what is all of m? Nothing. Okay. I just calculated m to show you the result, but you need not actually calculate m. Okay. Now if you see, sir थोड़ा slow. Okay. Slowly पढ़ाता हूँ. So at x is equal to 1. So अगर if x is equal to 1, this is degree or radians. We are dealing in real numbers, okay? We are not dealing in degrees. So if this is actually 1, this value is in radians, okay? So therefore y is equal to 256 into sine 4 times of 1, okay? So this is sine 4, 256 into sine 4 radians, okay? Whenever you have 4, whenever this value is 1, 2, 3, all these things are there, so this is actually 4 is the correct answer, okay? So sine 4 into x, because they are asking at x is equal to 1, okay? So if you want to calculate this sine 4, so first of all, to calculate sine 4, shift this dot to radians, then 4 and sine. So this is value of sine 4 into 256, so minus 193.74, okay? So minus 193.74 is the correct answer here. Minus 193.74 is actually the correct answer here, okay? Fine. So it would be helpful if you cover extra sums on series convergence. There is question on series convergence, I will solve that, okay? No issue. Fine. So please type in the chat box, is this clear to you? Minus 193.74, okay? So you have, if you want to substitute x is equal to 1, 2 directly in these cases, we actually have to go for this, what do you say, radians, okay? Now, let us go for the next question. Choose the correct statement from below. For any square matrix capital A plus A transpose is always symmetric. If A comma B are symmetric matrices, then AB minus BA is also symmetric. If A and B are symmetric matrices, then AB plus BA is also symmetric. The eigenvectors of a symmetric matrix are pairwise orthogonal, okay? So basically one property is of eigenvectors, then these are of, basically this type of matrices. So please tell me the correct answers here. They were asked to choose only correct statements, okay? So choose the correct statements here. So choose the correct statements and tell me the correct answer in this case. Come on, type it in the chat box quickly. Option A and option D. Only option D. Let us see, okay? So see carefully here. First statement. For any square matrix, A plus A transpose is also symmetric. That statement is actually true. Look, I will tell you. Let us suppose you have taken matrix A, okay? There is one standard property in mathematics which I will tell you, and also I will show you with some other result also, okay? So the standard property in matrix is any square matrix can be represented as something like this: half times of A plus A transpose plus half times of A minus A transpose. Okay, so basically if you simplify this, you will actually get A actually, okay? So this is half times of A plus A transpose plus half times of A minus A transpose. So this is symmetric and this is always skew symmetric, okay? Skew symmetric. Normally there is a rule that every square matrix can be written as sum of a symmetric and a skew symmetric matrix, okay? So how this matrix is always a symmetric matrix? Look, I will tell you. If you want to decide the nature of this matrix, B is equal to, let B is equal to A plus A transpose, okay? Now try to consider the transpose of this matrix. B transpose is equal to A plus J transpose whole transpose. So this is B transpose is equal to, if you have whole transpose, you can write summation of individual transposes. So A transpose plus this A transpose whole transpose. So this is A transpose plus A. So matrix addition is associative. So basically you can, matrix addition is actually commutative. So you can actually do summation of any order. So this can be written as A plus A transpose, which is same as B. So basically B transpose and B are both are same. So that's why this B is actually a symmetric matrix, okay? So this is symmetric matrix. That's how we can show that this is a symmetric matrix. Similarly, you can show the other thing is a skew symmetric matrix, because if you take A minus A transpose, you will till here you will get A transpose minus A. So to write this as A minus A transpose, you have to take a minus sign common, okay? So that's why this part is actually skew symmetric part here. Now coming to the next statement, if A and B are symmetric matrices, AB minus BA is also symmetric. This is actually a wrong statement, okay? And this is correct statement. Look, I will show you again. If you have two matrices, A is equal to A transpose and B is equal to B transpose, for example, then to decide the nature of this AB minus BA, let us do one thing. Let C is equal to AB minus BA. If you want to check the symmetricity or skew symmetricity of any matrix, consider the transpose. So C transpose is equal to AB minus BA whole transpose. So this is equal to AB transpose minus BA transpose. So if you see, if you have AB product of matrices whole transpose, this can be written as individual products. So B transpose into A transpose minus A transpose into B transpose. So this is BA minus AB. So you can see BA need not be equal to AB, matrix multiplication need not be commutative. So that's why you can take minus of AB minus BA. So this is nothing but minus C actually. So C transpose is actually equal to minus C. So C is actually skew symmetric matrix. So AB minus BA is actually skew symmetric in this case. Skew symmetric. Okay, so this is skew symmetric because C transpose is equal to minus C. Okay, now if you calculate this AB plus BA, for example, which is in the third option. Okay, so if you check the third option, A is equal to A transpose and B is equal to B transpose again. So C is equal to AB plus BA. Okay, so C is equal to AB plus BA. So this implies C transpose is equal to AB plus BA whole transpose. Okay, so this is AB whole transpose plus BA whole transpose. So if you can write this as B transpose into A transpose plus A transpose into B transpose, since these are symmetric matrices, this can be written as BA plus AB. Now since matrix multiplication is commutative, this BA plus AB is same as AB plus BA. So this can be written as AB plus BA, which is equal to C actually. Okay, so that's how C transpose is actually equal to C. So that's why this matrix which is here is actually, this is a symmetric matrix. Okay, symmetric matrix actually. Okay, so this is symmetric matrix. So definitely this statement is actually correct. So A, C are correct statements, then and B is actually wrong statement. Okay, now coming to D, the eigenvectors of a symmetric matrix are always pairwise orthogonal. This statement is actually true. Normally if you calculate eigenvectors for a symmetric matrix, then what comes out is, if you take any two eigenvectors and if you do dot product, you will actually end up with 0. Okay, so that's one very standard result in matrices. Basically I might have shown you, but you know, some other time I'll show you. If for a symmetric matrix, look, I'll tell you, for a symmetric matrix the result will be looking something like this. For a symmetric matrix, for a symmetric matrix xi transpose dot xj is equal to 0 for all I not equal to 0. Okay, for all I not equal to 0, where xi comma xj are eigenvectors. This is actually the result. Okay, so means if you do dot product of any two vectors, any two eigenvectors, any two different eigenvectors, actually you will end up with actually 0. Okay, so that's why this is actually 0. So this last statement is also a correct statement. So A, C, D are the correct statements here. Clear? Okay, people who have marked only A and D, they won't get marks, because in MSQs you have to mark all the correct options. Okay, there is no partial marking, so that's why A, C, D are the correct answers here. Okay, fine. So shall we go for the next question? So please type in the chat box. Okay, so let's go for the next question. The value of the surface integral over the sphere, this psi, given by x square plus y square plus z square is equal to 1, where f bar is equal to 4xi minus zk, and n denotes the outward normal vector is k pi, the value of k. So basically you can apply a Gauss divergence theorem. Look, what does Gauss divergence theorem tells you? Over any closed surface, if you have f bar dot n cap dA or ds, basically surface, whatever you say, this is equal to triple integral over the complete volume divergence of that f bar dv. Okay, so this is basically what you have. So here what they've given you, this is actually the Gauss divergence theorem that we use in many places during continuity equations. Okay, during pressure gradients. Okay, we means basically during derivation of this hydrostatic law, we use this at many places. Okay, so this is divergence theorem, and this is given by Gauss, so sometimes it's also called Gauss divergence theorem. Okay, so Gauss divergence theorem. So now if you see the path, this is actually a closed surface. Okay, so x square plus y square plus z square is equal to 1 is actually a sphere, it's a closed surface. So if you see integral over this surface, double integral over the surface f bar dot n cap ds, f bar dot n cap ds is equal to integral over the volume divergence of v. So what is divergence of this f? So this is f bar, so divergence of this is actually 3 times of dv. So this gives you 3 times of volume bounded by this equation, which is nothing but volume of sphere, volume of sphere. So this is equal to 3 times of 4 by 3 pi r cube. Okay, so what is the radius here? Radius is 1, so this can be written as 1 square, so radius is 1, so 3 gets cancelled, so this is equal to 4 times of pi is actually the answer, and this is given as k pi, so value of k is actually 4. Clear? Yes, 4 is the correct answer. Good. Okay, so 4 is the correct answer. Okay, so 4 is actually the correct answer. Himanshu, I think you have made some calculation mistake. 12.56, you have made 4 into pi, so 4 into pi is 12.56. okay, so but pi is actually given, so these things should be little carefully observed in exam. Okay, otherwise what happens, you normally solve the integral, you see the fill in the blank, then you will enter 12.56. okay, but unnecessarily you lose marks, okay, because of this adjustments. Fine, so let us solve this question. So Fourier series question, for the if the Fourier series of f of x is equal to minus k for minus pi less than x less than 0 and k for 0 less than x less than pi, then f of x is sigma n equal to 1 to infinity k by n, so some summation is given, then the value of 1 minus 1 by 3 plus 1 by 5 minus 1 by 7 plus and so on is dash. So solve this question. So quickly solve this question and tell me the answer. Yes, 4 is correct answer. Okay, for previous question, for this question 4 is actually the correct answer. Now solve this question. Fourier series expansion. So fine, so see here, f of x is given, f of x is equal to minus k whenever minus pi less than x less than 0 and k whenever 0 less than x less than pi. Okay, so this is what they have given you, is given as this, f of x is equal to sigma n equal to 1 to infinity, f of x is equal to sigma n is equal to 1 to infinity k by pi into 2 minus 2 times of minus 1 whole power n divided by n times of sin nx, sin nx. This is the Fourier series expansion. Now what they want, 1 minus 1 by 3 plus 1 by 5 minus 1 by 7. Okay, so 1 by 1 minus 1 by 3, so 1 minus 1 by 3 plus 1 by 5 minus 1 by 7, so plus 1 by 5 minus 1 by 7 is what you have. Okay, so plus and so on. This is, now if you see carefully, first of all, in this case you don't have even numbers, yes or no, means basically you don't have any even denominators, means whenever n is equal to, means if you expand this series, whenever n is equal to even number, this series should get cancelled. Obviously when n is equal to even number, this term will get eliminated, because when n is even, this 2 minus 2 becomes 0. Okay, so whenever n is equal to 1, I mean n is even number, this minus 1 whole power n will be plus 1 and 2 minus 2 will be 0 actually here. Okay, now if you see that, look, f of x is equal to, yet n is equal to even numbers, this series will definitely go to 0. So k by pi, if you take out as constant, so k by pi into, now if you write the expansion, when n is the odd number, when n is even, let us write here, when n is even, 2 minus 2 times of minus 1 whole power n, this is 0. When n is odd, 2 minus 2 times of minus 1 whole power n, this becomes, this minus 1 whole power n becomes minus 1, so minus of minus is plus, so this becomes 4 actually. Okay, so that becomes 4. So now if you see 4 when n is equal to 1, okay, so 4 by 1 into sin x plus when n is equal to 2, this is 0, when n equal to 3, okay, so when n is equal to 3, 4 by 3 into sin 3x plus when n is equal to 5 again. So 4 by 5 into sine 5x and so on. This will continuously happen. Okay, so this should happen. Now tell me one thing. Here you want, look, 4 is anyhow constant. Okay, so this can be written as f of x is equal to 4k by pi. 4 you can take constant from all the terms. So if you take 4 constant, then you have sin x plus sin 3x by 3 plus sin 5x by 5 plus sin 7x by 7. Similarly you will have, and so on. Now tell me one thing. Actual thing that you need is 1 minus 1 by 3 plus 1 by 5 and all. If you want to make this 1, similarly this minus 1, this again 1, this minus 1. Can you suggest me one value of x what I should replace here? So can you tell me one value of x what I should actually replace here? So type in the chat box. If I want 1 minus 1, 1 minus 1, all these things, can you think for a while and can you suggest me one value of x that I can replace here? Pi by 2, correct? Yes, correct. Devashita, correct. Okay, we have to substitute pi by 2. Okay, because when you put pi by 2 here, this value is 1. This is sin 3 pi by 2. So sin 3 pi by 2 will come minus 1. Again sin 5 pi by 2 is nothing but sin pi by 2. So that is 1. So this plus and minus loop will continue. Okay, so at x is equal to pi by 2, at x is equal to pi by 2, this implies, now when you put x is equal to pi by 2 is in between these two values. Okay, so pi by 2 is between 0 and pi. So f of x will be equal to k, correct? So k is equal to 4k by pi times of 1 minus 1 by 3 plus 1 by 5 minus 1 by 7 plus and so on infinity. Okay, now kk gets cancelled. So this expansion is actually equal to pi by 4. Okay, so this value will be equal to pi by 4 actually here. Okay, so pi by 4, which is here in option B, is the correct answer. Clear? So whenever they give you Fourier series expansion, you first expand the series, then identify what term you have to substitute to make that a better value. Okay, to get the desired result. So B is actually the correct answer after a bit of simple analysis. Clear to all of you? Okay, fine. So type in the chat box, is this clear to you? Okay, fine. So let's go for the next question. If the particular solution of differential equation y dash x minus x square minus y is equal to 0 with the initial condition y of 1 is equal to 1 is f of x, then the value of integral 0 to infinity e power minus x into f of x dx. So some question on series solutions of differential equations. Okay, yeah, tomorrow I'll try to put that. So for n equal to what, we'll have 4 by n. This is 4, of course. Okay, we'll have 4 by n, but this 4 I have taken common outside. Okay, so this 4 came here. Okay, Rajesh Kumar, did you understand this? Basically what I have done, whenever n is equal to odd, this numerator becomes 4. Okay, so 4 divided by n I have substituted everywhere. Okay, so is that clear to you? Something happened. What happened here? Something happened here. Just a minute. What happened? Why this is coming? Just a minute. If you double tap this. No. Fine. Can you see the screen actually? Yeah, generally in Fourier series you can expect these kind of models, or they'll ask you for the coefficients. That's it. Okay, you can expect generally one of these models. Okay, so this space is visible, right? Can I solve this here? Okay, so let us continue. So particular integral, particular solution. Okay, so not particular integral, sorry, particular solution of the differential equation y dash of x minus x square minus y is equal to 0 actually. Okay, so what we can write this equation, basically if you slightly focus, you can write this equation as dy by dx into x minus y is equal to x square. So if you divide this equation with x on all sides, then dy by dx plus minus 1 by x into y is equal to x. So this is the equation, and this equation is called Leibniz linear equation. Okay, this is of the form dy by dx. So this is of the form basically dy by dx plus py is equal to q, where phi comma q are only functions of x. So this is called Leibniz linear equation. Okay, Leibniz linear equation. Fine. So this is called Leibniz linear equation. So if you have this Leibniz linear equation, then what is the solution of this? First of all, integrating factor. Integrating factor is equal to e power integral p dx. So this is e power integral p ka value minus 1 by x dx. So this is e power minus integration of 1 by x is actually ln x. So this is x power minus 1, which is 1 by x. Okay, so this is the integrating factor. So once you calculate the integrating factor, then what will be the solution here? Y into solution is y into integrating factor. So y into integrating factor is 1 by x is equal to integral q. So what is q? Okay, so q is x here. So q is basically x. So x into integrating factor 1 by x dx. Okay, plus constant. Okay, so this is anyhow gets cancelled. So y by x is equal to integration of 1 is x plus constant. Okay, so y of x is equal to x plus constant. So y of 1 is equal to 1. Okay, so if y of 1 is equal to 1, then given y of 1 is equal to 1 actually. So this implies if you put 1 in both the sides, 1 by 1 is equal to 1 plus constant. So c is equal to 0 basically here. Okay, so c is equal to 0. So if c is equal to 0, then y by x is equal to x. Therefore particular solution is y by x is equal to x. So this implies y is equal to x square. Y is nothing but f of x actually. So this is equal to x square. Okay, so y is equal to f of x, which is x square. Now if this is the particular solution of this differential equation under these boundary conditions, then you are asked to calculate integral 0 to infinity e power minus x into x square. So integral 0 to infinity e power minus x into x square dx. So what could be this value actually? This is nothing but integral 0 to infinity e power minus x into x cube minus 1 dx. So this is actually gamma function. So gamma 3, which is 2 factorial. Okay, so this is 2 is the correct answer here. Okay, so this is basically gamma function. So how do you identify this is gamma function? 0 to infinity limits and e power minus x function. Okay, so based on this we identify this as gamma function. Clear? So basically the gamma function value, whenever this is an integer, whatever is the figure here, the factorial of that particular figure gives you the correct answer of the gamma function. Okay, so just a minute. So meanwhile let us solve this question. So solve this question, try to solve this question. So try to solve that question. एक बार आइए ना. So solve this question meanwhile. Screen छोटा हुआ. क्यों? Okay, thank you. Thanks. So type the so basically solve this question. Two numbers are chosen from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, one after another without replacement. Choose the correct statements. The probability that the smaller value of 2 is less than 3 is 13 by 28. This is some good question. The probability that the smaller value of 2 is less than 3 is 17 by 28. The probability that the product of two numbers is even is 9 by 14. The probability that the product of two numbers is even is 11 by 14. Okay, so this is the question basically. So let us try to solve this MSQ. So two numbers are there. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So basically you have 8 numbers, no? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now there are two events that are of interest. Probability that you have picked two one after the other without replacement. Okay, So the probability that the smaller value of 2 is less than 3. Okay, so out of these two values what you picked, the small one is actually less than 3. Okay, so in how many ways that can happen? First of all, if you choose this 3, okay, so let us suppose this 3 here. Now for least of the 2 to be less than 3, for least of the 2 to be less than 3, what can happen? Actually both numbers can be less than 3. In that case the minimum of those two can be less than 3. Both numbers can be less than 3 actually, or one number, one less than 3 and another more than 3. Okay, and other greater than or equal to 3. Yes or no? In these two cases the minimum of those two numbers will be definitely less than 3. Yes or no? Correct? So just type in the chat box. Look, let us solve this question in sequential way. Okay, chat box is empty, so that's why I understood this is a good question actually. So see here, basically if look, there are 8 numbers. Okay, you have selected 2 numbers one after the other without replacing them. Okay, so when you selected those 2 numbers, they are asking you what is the probability that minimum of these 2 numbers is actually less than 3. Okay, so minimum of these 2 numbers is actually less than 3. Okay, now for the minimum of these 2 numbers to be less than 3, there can be 2 cases. First thing is both the numbers what you have selected are actually less than 3. Okay, so in that case what happens? In that case what happens basically? So in that case both numbers selected can be less than or equal to 3, less than, or it can be equal to 3 also, or equal to 3, less than or equal to 3, equal to 3. This is one case. Or out of those 2 numbers, one number can be less than 2 and another number can be greater than or equal to 3. In these two cases, if you choose the 2 numbers in one of these 2 ways, then definitely the least of the 2 numbers will be less than 3. Yes or no? Can you understand till this particular point? So type in the chat box. Can you understand till this particular point? Out of these 2 cases, definitely the minimum of the 2 will be definitely less than 3. Correct? Yes or no? So please type in the chat box. Correct? If minimum of those 2 numbers has to be less than 3, then these are the 2 possibilities. Correct? Both the numbers should be less than or equal to 3, or one of them should be less than 3 and other should be greater than or equal to 3. Yes or no? Correct? So type in the chat box. Correct? So now probability of least of 2 less than 3 is equal to, first case, both numbers less than 3. So if you take 3 numbers 1, 2, 3, in the first pick you selected one of these 3 numbers. Okay, so total chances that you have is 3 by 8, because total you have 8 cards in the 8 numbers in the set, so you can choose any one of them. After choosing any one of them, then only 2 numbers are left here and only 7 numbers are left here. So 2 by 7 is what is the first case. Or what can happen when you pick one number less than 3? So basically if you see, out of these 2 you can pick one, so 2 by 8, and another number should be greater than or equal to 3. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, these are 6 numbers, so any of these 6 can be picked out of the remaining 7 actually here. Okay, so out of this remaining 7 you can pick any of these things. So in this case also your total number will be, the least case will be less than 3. So if you simplify this, 3 into 2, 6 by 56 plus 12 by 56 actually. Okay, so if you do some simple calculations, anyhow denominator is given 28, correct? So denominator is given 28. So if denominator is given 28, let us do one thing, let us cancel this 4 and 2 cancels out this 4. Okay, so 3 plus 6, okay, 9, 3 plus 6, 9 by 28. Okay, 9 by 28. I think they might have considered some other case also. First you picked more than 3, then you picked less than 3. Okay, so 6 by 7 into 2 by 4, 1 more 2 by 4, 1 by 2 more 8 comes out. So this is 4 again, so plus 6 by 28. So 15 by 28 is what you have here, 15 by 28. Okay, so 13 and 17 are the 2 options. Okay, so let us see. I think we are missing one case. Both numbers can be less than or equal to 3, so 3 by 8. Once you pick one of these 3 numbers, and from the remaining 7, out of these 2 favorable cases you have fixed this, plus 2 by 8 into 6 by 7 actually here. Okay, So 2 by 8 into 6 by 7. So this is again 28, 6 by 28. And if you have this, is there any other case that we forgot? Look, I think we have missed one more case also. Okay, so both numbers can be less than or equal to 3, correct? In such case, yes, the least of those two will be less than 3, or one less than 3 and other greater than or equal to 3. Okay, so first pick can be less. Okay, let us check these possibilities also. Both numbers can be less than or equal to 3. Okay, so in such case, out of these 3, you can pick any one. So 3c1 by 8c1 is 3 by 8 into, after taking one card you have only 7 in that. So out of this 7 you can pick any one from the remaining 2. So 2 by 7 plus, now 1 less than 3 and other greater than or equal to 3. Okay, so that implies, first of all, if you choose 1 less than or equal to 1 less than 3 and other greater than or equal to 8, greater than or equal to 3 actually. So 1 is less than 3. So basically less than 3 there are two numbers. So 2c1 by 8c1 into, from the remaining 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 6c1 divided by 7c1 actually here. Okay, so 7c1. So 6 by 7 plus here also, if you choose one number greater than or equal to 3 and then less. So total I am getting 15 by 28. I think we have left one more thing actually. First term 3 by 28 now. Yes, 3 plus 6, 9, 9 plus 6, 15 is what it's coming, right? So 15 by 28 is what it is coming. So I think we have left some more cases here. What are the other cases? Both numbers can be less than or equal to 3. Yes. So check this carefully. Probability that the smaller value of the 2 is actually less than 3. So for smaller value to be less than 3. So 15 by 28 is what we are getting. I think some other case is also be there. Okay, because definitely we got 15, so it should be either 17 by 28. Okay, so we should have one more 2 by 28 actually. How we can get one more 2 by 28? 2 by 28. How we can get this 2 by 28 actually? First term calculation 3 by 28 hoga. Yes. Look, what I am doing is, see carefully here. 3 by 28 plus 6 by 28 plus one more 6 na, 6 by 28. So total 15 by 28 is what I am getting. Okay, 3 plus 6, 9, 9 plus 6, 15. Clear? Less than and equal to 3. Where? And other greater than 3. No, like basically if you see, let us write it in a detailed way. Probability that least less than 3 is equal to first attempt less than 3 and second attempt greater than 3 or equal to 3, greater than or equal to 3. This is one possibility. Or in first turn you got greater than 3, greater than or equal to 3, and in second attempt you got less than 3 for example. Okay, then also the least will be less than 2. Then one more possibility is, in both the attempts you got less than 3 and less than 3. Okay, now in second attempt, so basically these are the three possibilities, correct? So these are the three cases that the least of these two is actually less than 3, correct? So in the first case you picked something less than 3, and in second case, did they give equal to in the question? That the smaller value of 2 is less than 3, strictly less than they have given. Okay, so if this is strictly less than, then these are the only three possibilities, right? Is there any other possibility? Correct? So please type in the chat box. 9 plus 6 is actually how much? 15, na? 9 plus 6 is 15, right? 15 by 28 is what we are getting. Okay, so these are the three possibilities. Even if you check the orders, okay, so less than or equal to 3 and greater than 3, less than or equal to 3 and less than 3, so less than 3 and greater than or equal to 3, so less than or equal to 3 and greater than 3, less than or equal to 3 and greater than 3. So this is what we have left here. So we are missing actually one case. So strictly less than 3, then second case. Yeah, even in this case we will have minimum of those two less than 3, correct? Because if you see one number you have less than 3, so if you compare these two numbers, definitely you will get less than 3. Clear? P of less than 3, first pick is less than 3 and it is greater than or equal to 3 in this case, and here it is greater than or equal to 3 and x less than 3. So basically this is reverse of this. Okay, so similarly here it can be less than or equal to 3 and x less than 3. So both are actually less than 3 in this case. Okay, so if you calculate them correctly, so the numbers are, let us suppose if you erase this, how will you pick this calculation basically? So if you see, So this is equal to probability of picking less than 3 is strictly less than 3 is actually you have two numbers 1 comma 2, so 2 by 8 into, so remaining 7, out of this 7 if you pick one, then for picking other 2, so you have 2 by 7, correct? Here it is 2 by 7 because you have two numbers left. After picking one, then there are two numbers, so 4, this is the case. And here coming to here 2 by 8 into 2 by 7, right? So this is the case. Then here it is x greater than or equal to 3 and x less than 3. So whenever x is greater than or equal to 3 and x is less than 3, so basically this is reverse of this case, okay? So if this is a reverse of this case, then what we will get? If this is a reverse of this case, then x greater than or equal to 3 is how many? 1 2 3 4 5 6, so 6 by 8 into x less than 3, so 2 by 7 is what you get. Similarly, what is the probability here? X less than or equal to 3, so 3 by 8 into, and x less than 3. So if let us suppose if you get x less than or equal to 3 is 3 by 8 and x less than 3, okay? So out of the 3 you picked one already, so remaining 2 will be there here. So 2 by 7 is what you have. So if you add this, let us see what is the quantity. So 2 cancels this 4 times, 2 cancels this 4 times, and this is 3 times, 2 cancels this 4 times actually, okay? So if you sum up these quantities, 2 by 28 plus 2 3s are 6 by 28 plus 3 divided by 28, so 11 by 28 is what you are getting here, correct? But if you see, but only less than 3 if you take only 1 and 2, correct? So if you see, this is, if you pick less than 3, so two numbers are there, so 2 by 8 into, so greater than or equal to 3 if you pick, then total 6 numbers are there, correct? So greater than or equal to 3 is how many? Greater than or equal to 3, 1 2 3 4 5 6, okay? So this is 6 by 7 actually, okay? So this is 6 by 7, not 2 by 7, this is 6 by 7 actually, okay? Because probability of choosing greater than or equal to 3, so total 1 2 3 4 5 6 is what you have, so 6 by 7, then this is 6 by 28, okay? So this is 6 by 28, so 12 plus 3 is 15, that's what I am getting, exactly the previous value, 15 by 28, okay? Correct? We are missing one more case actually, okay? But what is that case? Because if you see, we clearly know the answer should be 15 by 18, so if you miss, it should be either 17 by 28, okay? So I think 15 by 28 is the correct answer for this, okay? 15 by 28 is only the correct answer. 13 by 28, I think it cannot happen because we clearly know that it is 15 by 28, so if we miss something, it should be more than 15 by 28, that's it, okay? There is no chance that it comes to be less than 15 by 28 actually, because these are the cases that can happen. So I think 15 by 28 is actually the correct answer, okay? 15 by 28 is the correct answer, so let us make this 15 by 28, because if you see, these are the only 3 possibilities in which the least value is 2, correct? We did not leave any other possibility, correct? Yes or no? We did not leave any other possibility. These are the only 2 possibilities. Both the numbers should be either less than or equal to 3, or one can be less than 3 and other can be greater than or equal to 3, correct? These are the only cases where the probability of the least of the 2 can be less than 3 actually here, correct? Yes or no? So this is 15 by 28 is what we are getting actually, okay? Probability of getting x equal to 3 and x greater than 3, all these things they get covered in this equation, okay? Because they told strictly less than, okay? Total number of cases will be very large, okay? So 7 8s are 56, okay? So calculating of 56 will be very large actually, fine. So this is 15 by 28 anyhow. So probability that the product of two numbers is even, okay? So what is the what could be the case for two numbers product to be even? Both even, so basically even and even, or odd intersection even, or even intersection odd. In all these cases you get product is even number. So what is the product of picking even number? So out of 8 numbers, 4 will be even and 4 will be odd. So 4 by 8 into 3 by 7 plus this is 4 by 8 into 4 by 7 plus this is again 4 by 8 into 4 by 7, okay? So if you simplify this, what is the denominator that they have given you? 14, okay? So if they have given you 14, then you can cancel 4 actually. So 4 cancels this 2 times, 4 cancels this 2 times, and 4 cancels this 2 times. So 3 plus 4 7, 7 plus 4 11, 11 by 14 is the correct answer in this case, okay? So 11 by 14, option D is straight away the correct answer. But here I think data got changed, it should be 15. Okay, so its correct answer is 15 actually. Clear? So 16 by 28, 2c2 by 8c2 plus 2 by 6 into 8, 2 by 2 into 6 by 8 into 7. That's what I'm telling you. So 2c2 is basically 1, correct? Look, here we know that definitely there are 15 by 18. Okay, so MIT में भी हमारी यूनिवर्सिटी का जैसा सिलेबस होता है क्या मैकेनिकल इंजीनियरिंग में? No, it is different actually. Okay, some courses which are there in MIT are not in our syllabus. Clear? Good evening, Avantika. So see here, so basically if this is 15, then this is also correct answer. Okay, so B and D are the correct answers. Okay, because these are the three possibilities for choosing the number out of those two. The least case to be less than 3 is actually this. So 15 by 28 is the correct answer. Okay, because this is reciprocal of this, and these two numbers selected should be this. Okay, now so basically this is what we have. Okay, so then let us go for the next question. This question we have already solved now. Same thing. If Z1 and Z1 and Z2 are two non-zero complex numbers such that modulus of Z1 plus Z2 is equal to mod Z1 plus mod Z2, then the argument of Z1 minus Z2. Again, one more question. So let us solve this. So again, if you take this, Z1 is equal to R1 e power I theta 1 and Z2 is equal to R2 times e power I theta 2. Okay, so if this is e power I theta 2, then this implies given mod Z1 plus Z2 is equal to modulus of Z1 plus modulus of Z2. So if you simplify this carefully, Z1 plus Z2 we have seen previously, this is equal to square root of R1 square plus R2 square plus 2 times of R1 R2 cos theta 1 plus theta 2, correct? So this is the theta 1 minus theta 2. So this is the magnitude of this. Okay, so this is equal to R1 plus R2. So if you take square on both sides, then definitely theta 1 minus theta 2 will be equal to how much? So basically if you take squares, then 2, look, if you expand this, basically this implies if you square this equation, R1 square plus R2 square plus 2 R1 R2 cos theta 1 minus theta 2, theta 1 minus theta 2. So this is equal to, if you square this, R1 square plus R2 square plus 2 times of R1 R2 is what you will get here. Okay, so now if you can cancel the common terms, R1 square R2 square, R1 square R2 square. So after this, if you delete this 2 R1 R2 from this term, then theta 1 minus theta 2 should be equal to 0. That's it. Okay, because cos theta 1 minus theta 2 should be equal to 1. So theta 1 minus theta 2 should be equal to 0 here. Okay, so option A is the correct answer in this case. Previously we have done calculation of mod of Z1 plus Z2 actually. Okay, so we have calculated this question somewhere. Okay, so Z1 plus Z2. So Z1 plus Z2 we have solved, right? So somewhere here we have solved. Yes, here. So magnitude of Z1 plus Z2 will be R1 square plus R2 square plus 2 R1 R2 cos theta 1 minus theta 2. So there is a square root here. So to eliminate that square root, we have done squaring of the elements. Okay, so to eliminate that square root, we have done squaring. Okay, so theta 1 minus theta 2 is actually 0. So the arguments of both are actually the same. Okay, if you have taken the Cartesian coordinates, things would have been slightly difficult here. Okay, so 0 is the correct answer anyhow. So let us see. The length of human pregnancies from conception to birth approximates a normal distribution with mean of 260 days and standard deviation of 10 days. So normally, you know, 270 days is the 9 months is basically the gestation period. So now if you see, that is the gestation period is basically the time between conception and delivery. So this is following a mean of 260 days with a standard deviation of 10 days. The probability that the pregnancies of any randomly selected sample will last between 250 and 280 days in percentage is dash. Okay, so normally they are having some mean of 250 days, 260 days with standard deviation of 10 days. Okay, so what is the probability that the birth happens between 250 and 280 days is dash. Okay, so now if you see this, and let us suppose if this is P of Z for example, then if you draw the normal curve P of X and X for example, then the normal curve looks something like this. Correct? This is normal curve, bell shaped curve. Now here if you see mean, the mean of this case is 260 days and sigma is equal to 10 days. Okay, now they are asking you 250 and 280, between 250 and 280. So 250 is somewhere here 250 is somewhere here, and 280 is actually somewhere here. 280 days is somewhere here. Okay, so this is 280 days. Okay, so this is 280 days. They are asking you what is the percentage of this area. What is the percentage of this area? So how do you do this? Let us convert this into a standard normal distribution. Okay, so if you convert to standard normal distribution, mu is equal to 260 and sigma is equal to 10 days. Okay, so of course everything is in days. Okay, 260 and 10 days. Now if you denote this standard distribution variable x minus mu by sigma, then p of x is equal to 250. Okay, so p of x is equal to 250 is nothing but p of 250 less than x less than 280. So this is nothing but, so if x is equal to 250, z is equal to 250 minus x mu, which is 260 divided by 10. So this is minus 1. Similarly, z2 is equal to 280 minus 260. Correct? They asked between 280 days. So 280 minus 260 by 10, which is actually 2. So in case of standard normal distribution, we need this area. If you convert this into standard normal distribution, for example, means if this is z and if you take this as p of z, for example, p of z, this is z. So z is equal to 2, z is equal to minus 1 is what you have here. Okay, so what could be the area? P of minus 1 less than equal to z less than 2. So this can be written as p of this total shaded area can be written as, this is z is equal to 0. In standard distribution, z mean is 0. So if you put z is equal to 0 here, minus 1 less than z less than 0 plus probability of 0 less than z less than 2. Okay, so this can be written as half times of probability of minus 1 less than or equal to z less than or equal to 1 plus half times of probability of minus 2 less than or equal to z less than or equal to 2. Correct? This is what you write here. So if you write this, this is half times of 0.6828 and this is half times of 0.9577. So if you calculate this, because these are the areas, at least you can remember these three. So normally if you see in normal distributions, this value is around 0.6828, probability of minus 2 less than or equal to z less than or equal to 2. So this is 0.9577 and probability of this minus 3 less than or equal to z less than or equal to 3. So this is 0.9973. Okay, so around this 0.997 is what you have, 99.7. So only 3 can go wrong. Okay, so basically if you see, so in probability question, smaller value case, the last term should be 2 into 1. Smaller value case, the last term should be 2 into 1. Okay, so after this we'll go there. Okay, so 13 by 28 will be the probability of that question. Okay, so let us check once. So basically if you see 0.6828 plus 0.9577, so this value divided by 2, so 82.025% almost. Okay, so 82.025%. Okay, since I didn't give you this value, some of you might have considered only till 0.68 and 0.95. So some of you might have got 83%, 84%, these kind of answers. Okay, but anyhow, this is the way to do this question. Okay, so somewhere in between 82, 83, 84, these could be the numbers around which you might have got the answer. Okay, clear? We'll go to that probability question in the last. Okay, so because there are some questions on series and sequences. Okay, all these questions. So after completion of that, we'll go back to the this probability question. Okay, so around this is the percentage that on an average, if you take any pregnancy, that will get delivered within 250 to 280 days. Okay, so 84% of the deliveries happen within this period, 250 to 280%, 250 to 280 days. Okay, so when did today's session start? 9:15. Okay, because Vinod sir has slightly extended the session. So after his session, I have started. Okay, now let us go for the next question. The value of integral y minus sin x dx plus cos x dy evaluated using Green's theorem will be, C is the shaded area in the given figure. Okay, so basically C is not the shaded area actually. So C is the path closing the region in the given figure. Okay, so basically C is this closed path. Okay, so C is this closed path actually. It started here, then it went like this, then it is like this, and finally it is like this. Okay, so it is something like this. Okay, So if you see, this path is like this. Okay, so this path is like this. Okay, so this is the closed path. See, counterclockwise given as it is. Now if you see, they asked you directly to use Gain's theorem. So cyclic integral over C y minus sin x dx, y minus sin x dx plus, okay, so y minus sin x dx plus cos x dy. So this is equal to, if you follow on Netflix, dou n by dou x. Okay, so this is m dx, so this is m and this is n dy. Okay, so dou n by dou x minus sin x minus dou m by dou y. So if you differentiate this partially with respect to y, you have 1 actually here. Okay, so minus sin x minus 1. Okay, because dou n by dou x is minus sin x plus minus dou m by dou y. So dou m by dou y is actually minus 1, which is dx dy actually here. Okay, so this is actually equal to the concept of combination of random variables. I have solved one question in PYQs. Combination of random variables, z is equal to 1 by 2 times of x plus y or x plus y by 2. We have solved this question. You remember? Okay, so we have solved that question of combination of random variables now actually there in PYQs. One of the PYQs I have solved. You remember, I have given you concept of this covariance, expectation of xy minus individual products expectations, all these things. Okay, Nitin, sorry Ashwin, so you can find it there basically in the second lecture. I think I have given that. Okay, you can go there. So basically if you see, this is integral minus of integral over the region R 1 plus sin x dx dy, dx dy. Okay, so basically how do you calculate this integration? So dou n by dou x minus dou m by dou y. So dou n by dou x is minus sin x, differentiation of cos x is minus sin x, minus derivative of this with respect to y is 1. Okay, so minus of 1 plus sin x dx dy. Now how do you calculate this? Minus integration of 1 plus sin x into dx into dy. So what are the x limits in terms of y? We shall write them. What are the x limits? If you take this limits, for example, if you take a horizontal strip here, if you take some horizontal strip, then if you take some horizontal strip, small strip actually, if you take some small horizontal strip, okay, so let us suppose if this is the strip that you have taken, then in that case this is bounded by the line. So this is pi by 2 comma 1 actually. Okay, and this is 0 comma 0. So what is this equation? Y is equal to 1 by pi by 2 minus, so basically if this is the line passing through the points pi by 2 comma 1 and this is passing through origin, so what is the slope of this equation basically? So what is the slope of this equation? Y is equal to mx. Okay, and what is slope? y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1, so pi by 2 times x. So this is given by y is equal to 2 by pi times x. Okay, so this is the equation. Okay, so y is equal to 2 by pi x, so that means x is actually equal to pi by 2 y, pi by 2 y, and the right hand side is actually a constant function. This is pi by 2 comma 0 and pi by 2 comma 1, so this is x is equal to pi by 2 is a constant line. Okay, so what are the limits? X is changing from the left value, lower value is pi by 2 times of y, pi by 2 times of y, and this upper limit of x. What is the upper limit of x actually? This is pi by 2. Okay, so this is pi by 2. Now what are the y limits? Y is changing from, what is the minimum and maximum values of y? Minimum value of y is 0 and maximum value of y is 1. So 0 to 1. Okay, so y is equal to 0 to y is equal to 1. These are the limits. So how did we identify the limits? Okay, no issue. You can continue from here. So basically if you see, how did we calculate these limits? So since if your first integrating variable is x, we want to write x limits in terms of y. Okay, so for that we identified this equation, and overall this complete region x is bounded by lower value which is given by this function x is equal to pi by 2 y, and right side value is given by this constant x is equal to pi by 2. Now if you perform this integration, this is equal to minus integral y is equal to 0 to y is equal to 1 actually. Integration of 1 plus sin x with respect to x is x plus integration of sin x is minus cos x. Okay, so integration of sin x is minus cos x within the limits pi by 2 y or pi y by 2 to pi by 2 dy. Okay, so this is dy. So if you do this integration, minus integral y equal to 0 to y is equal to 1 Then if you put pi by 2 minus cos pi by 2, so pi by 2 minus cos pi by 2, 0, minus, if you put pi y by 2, then pi y by 2 minus pi y by 2 minus cos pi y by 2, okay, so minus cos pi y by 2, so this value dy, okay, so these are the limits. Now if you integrate this, minus of, okay, so minus of integration of pi by 2 is pi y by 2 minus integration of pi y by 2 is pi y square by 2, minus of minus is plus, so integration of cos is actually sin pi y by 2 divided by pi by 2, so that can be multiplied as 2 by pi actually here, okay, so divided by pi by 2, that can be written like this within the limits y is equal to 0 to y is equal to 1 actually here. So if you replace here, then what would be the function? Minus of when you put y is equal to 1, this is pi by 2 and this is also pi by 2, so pi by 2 and pi by 2 gets cancelled actually, correct, because pi by 2 minus pi by 2 gets cancelled, and then when you put y is equal to 1 here, sin pi by 2 into 2 by pi, so we have 2 by pi actually here, okay, so this is 2 by pi minus 2 by pi, correct. I hope y is equal to x, no, it is not y is equal to x, okay, because if you see carefully, this is not y is equal to x, the points are different, okay, x coordinate and y coordinate are not equal, clear. So you missed pi y square by 4, did I miss some quantity anywhere? Pi y square by 4, did I miss? What is the quantity that I missed? I missed some quantity anywhere? Pi y square by 4 hoga na ka? Pi y square by 4, yes, this is 4 here, okay, so this is 4, correct, because pi by 2 into y square by 2, okay, then this term will be there. So if you see, because here it should be 4, okay, because if you integrate this, pi by 2 into integration of y is actually y square by 2, okay, so pi y square by 4, okay, this should be 4 constant, yes. Now if you replace, if you put y is equal to 1, pi by 2 minus pi by 4 plus, when you put y equal to 1, this is sin pi by 2, so sin pi by 2 is 1, so plus 2 by pi, so these are the upper limit values, minus, when you put y equal to 0, all the 3 terms are zeros, okay, so this is pi by 2 minus pi by 4 is pi by 4 plus 2 by 5, so minus of this, so this total value of the integration is minus pi by 4 minus 2 by pi is the actual value here, okay. So always it's not possible for getting this dou n by dou x minus dou m by dou y a constant function. Sometimes when you generate some functions, you have to write the limits and do the integration as per your multiple integrals knowledge, okay. So if you have some knowledge on double integrals, then you can actually substitute here and you can calculate the values, okay. So this is minus pi by 4 minus 2 by pi is the correct answer, which is in option D, okay. This is integrations and minus signs, you have to take little carefulness, okay, otherwise what happen, you can end up with wrong answers, clear. So that's why, so Stokes theorem aa sakta hai, no, Stokes is not in the syllabus of XC, okay, clear. So basically this is simple integration, you have to do this calculation dou n by dou x minus dou m by dou y, this is given in this function as minus of 1 plus sin x, okay. So based on that, writing the limits, we have actually integrated, okay. If vertical strip is taken, then little bit calculation might have got saved, yes, maybe, because if you see, then in that case 1 plus sin x into y, so y limits will be from 0 to 2 by pi x. Even in that case, x integration will become again lengthy, okay. Even in that case, if you take x integration, then it would have been lengthy, because you will get x into 1 plus sin x, okay. So that x into sin x integration will take some time again for you, okay. Integrating x into sin x is something tougher than integrating this case. How did you know which strip is easy? Basically I have tried with x, okay, because my intention is, if you try with x, this function can be directly integrated, okay, that's what I thought, because directly integrating this function is easy. So I thought, first of all, let us integrate it directly, so that's why we can solve this. So differential equation of type 2, 3, 4, 5 are also in syllabus. What is this type 2, 3, 4, 5? I didn't get this, because I never taught like type 2, type 3 and all these things, but you can better tell them by their names, okay. Homogeneous, linear, non-homogeneous, non-linear, something like this, okay, because 2, 3, 4, 5, these numbers could be changing from faculty to faculty. M dx plus n dy equal to 0, that's form, right? Exact differential equations, yes, they can come in syllabus, okay, because differential equations, they can come in syllabus. I solved using vertical, but integration of x into sin x should be known. Yes. Okay, I'll tell you one technique actually to calculate integral x into sin x and all these things. Look, I'll just give you this thing. Let us suppose if you have two functions, u into v. You have already arranged them in islet form. So this will be equal to u into integration of v, means basically v1, let us say, minus u dash into integration of second integration of this plus u double dash into v table dash minus u table dash into v fourth derivative and so on. This series will go on. Okay, means basically if you see integral x cube into e power x, for example, let us suppose if we have this function, this integration, normally you have to apply by parts. Okay, so if you apply by parts, this will come out some lengthy term. Okay, but whenever these are two functions, first function into integration of second function, which is e power x, minus derivative of this x cube 3x square into integration of this e power x, which is e power x, again plus derivative of this 3x square 6x into integration of this e power x, this is e power x, minus differentiation of this 6x 6 into integration of this e power x plus derivative of this 6 0. So from here that's it, c is got ended. So you can replace this 0 with some arbitrary constant. Okay, so this is how we can calculate the integrations. Similarly, if you have x into sin x dx, okay, now how do you calculate this? Look, I'll tell you, x into sin x is actually, this function is algebraic. So first function into integration of sin x minus cos x minus derivative of x 1 into integration of minus cos x minus sin x plus derivative of this 1 0. So you can stop it here. Okay, so this becomes minus x cos x plus sin x plus constant. Okay, so this is one technique for writing. Normally this product of, whenever you have some product of some functions, then you can actually calculate the integration in this pattern. Okay, but one thing that should be there here is this one of the functions should be algebraic. Okay, you can see I have kept one of the things should be algebraic actually, because look, let us suppose if I have sin x and cos x, then this loop will never end. Yes or no? Sin x derivative, you let cos x, then again sin x, this loop will never end. Okay, so whenever you have one of the function as this algebraic function, then this technique can be actually used. Okay, and second thing, this integration has also to be simple. Okay, for example, instead of e power x, if I have log x, then integrating log x is not very easy. Okay, so that's why this technique is actually a bit limited technique, but whenever they give you things like this, you can actually apply this result actually. Okay, but you have to be careful with the plus and minus signs. Fine. Yeah, see solutions and partial differential equations in tomorrow's class. I'll try to put some question like that. Okay, yes, out of those two, one function should be terminating function. Okay, otherwise what happens, the loop will continue, that cannot happen. Okay, fine. So basically this I have told, so that you can when someone told that you got x into sin x, so that will be done. Potential flows, I have some important information. Actually what we have decided, what the top management has actually decided and we are asked to do is, like potential flows and Reynolds transport theorem, basically control volume analysis. These two chapters we are giving free access on Infinity app, on PW app. Okay, on our Physics Wallah PW app, we are going to give the free access of potential flows, complete chapter. I think 4 to 5 lectures I have taught there. So those 4 to 5 lectures I am giving there, we are giving complete access. And secondly, this control volume analysis. Okay, so basically Reynolds transport theorem and its applications, linear momentum, angular momentum equations, all these things. These two chapters we are giving free access in in PW app. Tomorrow in the morning session of fluid mechanics, I'll explain you how to find and where to find these classes exactly. Okay, but in app, the top management has decided to give the free access of these two chapters for your GATE XC examination. Okay, so time duration of lectures, normally it takes, for potential flow it takes some 6 to 8 hours if you want to study, and for like control volume analysis, again some 3 to 4 lectures are there. Okay, or else even if you find going through the lectures difficult, you can find the notes there, so you can go through the notes. If you are getting any difficulty, then go to the corresponding part of the video and you can learn. Okay, fine. So by tomorrow in the first half it is expected to be done, because we are also talking to few people, so this can be done. Okay, so let's go for the next question. So solve this question. Okay, so for the series, so please answer my question. Anonymous aspirant, where is anonymous aspirant? So गेट का एग्जाम देने के बाद रियलाइज हुआ है कि 1-2 सब्जेक्ट वीक गया, उनको अब कैसे स्ट्रॉन्ग करें, क्या दोबारा लेक्चर देखने चाहिए? या बेसिकली इफ यू फील सम कॉन्सेप्ट्स, look, I'll tell you one thing. If you are lagging in concepts, then better go for the lectures. But if you are lagging in application, okay, so you know the concept but you are lagging in application, then keep practicing more questions. Okay, then that could help you out. Okay, so Rajiv, look this question for the series. Okay, so please give the important properties of linear independence. Linear independence is very less thing, of course. Properties of eigenvectors and orthogonal properties of eigenvectors. Okay, fine. Yeah, I'll give you hopefully in tomorrow's session, the last session for Abhyas, then I'll give you the properties. Okay, all the properties of eigenvalues, eigenvectors, all these things. Okay, because today we have some more questions to go on. Okay, so we have some more questions. Okay, so we have some questions to do. After these questions I'll give you. Okay, I mean in tomorrow's session I'll give you. Clear? Okay, Ramanujan, no issues. So let us see here for the series x by 1 plus x square by 1 plus x square plus x cube by 1 plus x cube and so on till infinity. X is positive. Choose the correct statements from below. Okay, so first thing, one thing is very clear. Look, they are asking you to choose the correct value. Okay, so this is a positive series because x is positive. So if you see, series is actually something like n equal to 1 to infinity x by x power n by 1 plus x power n. Okay, so this is what you have, x power n divided by 1 plus x power n. This is the series. Okay, so if this is the series, then nth term of the series is given by x power n by 1 plus x power n, and this is a positive term actually. So we can straight away go for the ratio test. If you go for the ratio test, then definitely for convergence, limit n tends to infinity un plus 1 by un, this guy should be less than 1. Okay, so let us see what is limit n tends to infinity un plus 1 by un. Limit n tends to infinity magnitude of un. Okay, so what is un actually? Un plus 1, so x power n plus 1 divided by 1 plus x power n plus 1. This is what you will have into 1 plus x power n divided by x power n. 1 plus x power n divided by x power n. This is what you have. Okay, so this has to be less than 1 actually. So now if you simplify the result, for example, then what you will get, this cancels out x times, and so this implies this is equal to limit n tends to infinity x into limit n tends to infinity 1 plus x power n divided by 1 plus x power n plus 1. So this is the case. Limit n tends to infinity x and limit n tends to 1 plus x power n divided by 1 plus x power n plus 1. Okay, so this has to be less than 1 actually here. Now if this has to be less than 1, then definitely you know. Okay, so basically if you see limit n tends to infinity, n is actually the power, right? It is not the variable here. Okay, so limit n tends to infinity here, this time the power is tending to infinity actually. Okay, so whenever limit n tends to infinity, try to observe carefully here. This limit is something different from limit x tends to infinity a naught x power n, a1 x power n minus 1. Here this variable is the limit. Okay, but here the power is actually the limit. Okay, so please try to get the difference. Okay, because many students feel that this value is directly 0 because this x power n degree is less than x power n plus 1. But one thing you have to make sure, power is n. Okay, and this limit is based on n. These two limits are not same. Whatever I have given you, this b naught x power n plus b1 x power m minus 1, you remember this limit, I have given you this. Okay, but actually this limit cannot be applied here because if you see here the variable is x, but here the variable is this n which is on the top. Okay, so that's why you cannot apply this carefully. So now if you do this, look, this is equal to, anyhow this is x into modulus of x into, now how to calculate this limit? First of all, if x is if you take x power n out, n tends to infinity, if you take x power n out, actually here x power n, then 1 plus 1 by x power n divided by, if you take x power n again, you can write 1 by x power n plus x actually here. Okay, so this is the limit. So now if you see directly, whenever x is actually positive value, see, look carefully here, try to understand one thing carefully. Look, I will try to explain you using some fundamental points here to calculate this limit rather than writing formulas. This is x. One thing is very clear. Now this limit will be finite only, this limit value is 1 when x is actually less than 1, correct? So when x is less than 1, when x is less than 1 and n tends to infinity, then definitely x power n tends to 0 and x power n plus 1, this term will also tend to 0, correct? So only in such case these two will be some finite values. So basically this limit will be less than 1 because mod x into whenever x is less than 1, this value of the limit will come to 1 because this x power n term will be 0 and x power n plus 1 term will also be 0. So 1 by 1 is what you will get, okay? 1 plus 0 by 1 plus 0 less than 1. So mod x is less than 1 for series to converge. For series to converge here, okay? So for series to converge actually, because if you see whenever x is less than 1, this is mod x anyhow, so mod x is less than 1, that's what we decided. So if mod x is less than 1, then this limit will become 1 actually, okay? So mod x less than 1, that implies this mod x should be less than 1 actually. So therefore series converges if x less than 1, because anyhow why I am not writing mod x in the question, it's clearly given x is positive, okay? So x is positive, so if x is less than 1, series converges and series diverges if x is greater than 1, okay? So series diverges if x is actually greater than 1. Now if you check the options, then definitely x is equal to 1 by e is less than 1 actually, so that's why series converges at this point. Series converges at x is equal to 1 by e square, of course 1 by e square is also less than 1, and here if you see the series converges for x is equal to 1, we don't know because ratio test never talks about x is exactly when this limit is equal to 1, okay? So at x is equal to 1 we don't know what happens. At diverges at for x is equal to a, since this is greater than 1, this statement is also correct, okay? So series diverges. Now what about the x is equal to 1? If you put x is equal to 1 in this series, your answer will be 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2 and so on. So tell me this series at x is equal to 1, at x is equal to 1, this is the series. So tell me, is this a finite value or infinite value? So please tell me, at this location this is finite value or infinite value? Infinity, na? Because if you take two terms in combination, sum of these two is 1, sum of these two will be 1, so this 1 plus 1 plus 1 and will go on, so to a infinity, correct? So that's why this is not converging but actually diverges, so that's why this statement is wrong. So A, B, D are the correct answers. Clear? So should we have modulus for x compulsorily even after taking out? Yes, but here I didn't write modulus intentionally because it is mentioned that x is positive, okay? That's why I did not write. Otherwise you have to actually write the modulus. Clear? GP formula we cannot use, okay? Because GP formula can be used only a by 1 minus r only when modulus of r is less than 1, okay? But here common ratio is equal to 1, okay? Every term is 1, so whenever r is equal to 1, this if you put r equal to 1 here, this goes to infinity, okay? It is not, it is actually a GP with common ratio 1, okay? But for common ratio 1, we actually cannot use this expression because this is valid only when common ratio is less than 1, okay? Modulus of common ratio is less than 1. This is actually a GP with common ratio 1, okay? Clear? Exactly at x is equal to 1, test fails, okay? So whenever test is failing, we have to go for either Cauchy's test or integral test, things like that. But in XZ level, they are not asking these things. They are simply putting the questions on ratio test either or on basically some normal series expansions, okay? Fine. So try to solve the next question. So this is anyhow this question. So basically this question is what we have. So try to solve this question and tell me the answer. So please solve this question and tell me the answer. Last step is nothing. So basically what I have done is, if you put x is equal to 1, because at x is equal to 1 we don't know what to do. So if you put x is equal to 1, then 1 by 1 plus 1, 1 by 2 plus 1 by 1 plus 1, 1 by 2. So this goes to 1 by 2, okay? So that's why if you see, this is basically infinity. After we found mod x less than 1, okay? So when mod x is less than 1, then definitely series converges if x less than 1 and if this is x greater than 1. Because why I did not write, actually you can write modulus, but why I did not write is, anyhow in the question they have directly given x is positive. Okay, so that's why I did not write. Clear? Fine. Okay, Ashwin. So now let us see this question. There is a matrix A 3 by 3, and for this characteristic equation is lambda cube minus 6 lambda square plus 11 lambda minus 6 is equal to 0. So this will have 3 roots, of course. Okay, so lambda 1, lambda 2 and lambda 3. Now if you see, one thing is very clear, lambda 1 plus lambda 2 plus lambda 3 is equal to minus of this coefficient by this coefficient, so 6. Product of 3 roots directly is equal to negative of this coefficient by 1 again, so this is 6. Now if you see, if you get one root, then you can actually get the other roots. Okay, now if you see carefully here, okay, many of you guys have answered 1, good. Okay, but I don't know the answer, let me check. So basically sum of the coefficients here, so if you see 1 minus 6 minus 5 minus 5 plus 11 6, 6 minus 6 0, so sum of the coefficients is 0, so definitely one root is going to be 1. Okay, so if sum of the roots of sum of the coefficients of a given polynomial is 0, then definitely 1 is actually one root of that equation. Okay, and if sometimes sum of coefficients of odd powers of x is equal to sum of coefficients of even powers of x, then in that case minus 1 is actually one root. Okay, means for example, hi Vivek, so see here I will tell you one thing, okay, which you commonly know, x square minus 2x plus 1 is equal to 0. You all know for this equation 1 comma 1 are the roots. Okay, so here if you observe, sum of coefficients will be 0, 1 minus 2 is minus 1, minus 1 plus 1 is actually 0. Similarly, if you take for example x square plus 2x plus 1 is equal to 0, if you see this 1 can be written as x power 0, so these two terms are having even powers of x and this term is having odd powers of x, correct? So if you take the summation of coefficients of even powers of x, so this is 1 power x, 1 into x square, and this is 1 into x power 0. Okay, so this coefficient is 1 and this coefficient is 1, so sum of coefficients of even powers of x is equal to sum of coefficients of this odd powers of x. In that case definitely minus 1 will be one root of the equation. Okay, so these are some simple techniques to identify generally when plus or minus 1 is actually one of the root of the equation. Okay, so lambda 1 is equal to 1. So if lambda 1 is equal to 1, this implies lambda 2 plus lambda 3 is equal to 5 and lambda 2 into lambda 3 is equal to 6. So we know the eigenvalues are, therefore 1 comma 2 comma 3 are eigen values. Okay, so these are your eigen values, and see clearly it is given mod lambda 1 less than mod lambda 2 less than mod lambda 3, therefore lambda 1 is equal to 1, lambda 2 is equal to 2 and lambda 3 is actually equal to 3. Now they have given some, they are asking you some value, lambda 3 by lambda 1 plus lambda 2 whole power modulus whole power 4. Okay, so this is equal to 3 divided by 1 plus 2 whole power 4, which is 1 actually. Okay, so 1 is actually the correct answer in this case. Clear? Of course, yes, 1 is correct answer. Okay, yes, correct, 1 is correct answer. Rajesh, Ashwin, Ankit, Rutvik, Roshan, Precious 1, Ayan, Yash, Himashri, yes, Vivek, aspirant, all of you, yes, correct. 1 is actually the correct answer in this case. Okay, so let's go for the next question. Let f of x be continuous and satisfying m less than f of x less than capital M in 1 less than x less than 10. Then mu is equal to that particular integration satisfies which of these equations. Okay, so please solve this. So can you show how synthetic division method works? Yeah, I'll show you synthetic division method, no issue. So I think this is the last question for today. Fine. Okay, I'll show you the synthetic division method. So see, first of all, if you look, guys, let us spend only 2 minutes because there are some people who are asking for synthetic division method. So let us see this. So if you see synthetic division, lambda cube minus 6 lambda square plus 11 lambda minus 6, correct? So let us suppose you identified lambda is equal to 1 is one root. Okay, is a root of the equation. If you observe one root, then remaining roots can be calculated using synthetic division. How you do that? Look, first of all write the coefficients 1 minus 6 11 minus 6. Okay, so now x is equal to 1 or lambda is equal to 1 for example. Okay, so if you take lambda is equal to 1, because lambda is equal to 1 is one root, sum of coefficients is 0, so initially you take 0 here. Okay, initially you take 0 add these two, so 1 plus 0 is 1. Now multiply these two, 1 into 1 is 1, so keep it 1 here. Again add these two, minus 5. Okay, so this is minus 5. Now multiply 1 into minus 5, minus 5. So 11 minus 5, 6. 1 into 6 plus 6. So minus 6 plus 6, 0. Okay, so last thing should become 0. So that's why this polynomial is equal to lambda minus 1 into whatever are the terms here, these are the coefficients. So 1 into lambda square minus 5 lambda plus 6 is what you will write. Then it's a quadratic equation, quadratic term. You can easily factorize the quadratic term. Okay, so that's how we actually do the synthetic division. Clear? Okay, initial choice is 0. Okay, initial choice is 0. That's what we make. Then after doing things, we'll get the factorization easily. Okay, now let's go for the next question, the last question hopefully. So solve this question. Solve this question. This is the last question for today. So please solve this. Then once we solve this, we can close the session. So please solve this question and tell me the answer. Here let f of x be a continuous and satisfying m less than f of x less than capital M in 1 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 10. Then mu is equal to this quantity satisfies which of these equations? So please tell me. Fine. So please type in the chat box. Given to all of you that m less than or equal to f of x less than or equal to m. Correct? So what is mu? And 1 is less than x less than 10, of course. So 1 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 10. And what is the value of mu? Mu is integral 1 to 10 f of x square into f of x dx divided by integral 1 to 10 x square dx. Correct? This is mu actually here. Okay, so mu is basically this. Mu is this. Correct? Now let us see one thing, how to find the relation. First of all, let us do one thing. Let us multiply x square on all sides of this equation. Okay, so small m into x square less than or equal to small x square into f of x square into f of x less than or equal to capital x square into capital M, Okay, now let us do one thing. Let us multiply dx on all sides, dx and dx. Now let us integrate from 1 to 10 in all the cases, because x is lying in between 1 to 10. So if you integrate, and let us make a division with integral 1 to 10 x square dx to all the terms. If you make this integral 1 to 10 x square dx and integral 1 to 10 x square dx, this is what we have. Okay, now one thing is very clear, this is mu that they are talking about. Okay, so this is nothing but your mu, what they have given you, this is mu. Correct? Now if you take small m outside, then this integration can cancel this integration, because if you take m outside, integral 1 to 10 x square dx, integral 1 to 10 x square dx less than or equal to mu, if you take capital M out, these two integrals are same, so they get cancelled. So this is capital M. M is less than or equal to, mu is less than or equal to capital M is the correct answer in this question. Clear? So C is actually the correct answer. Okay, by simple adjustments we can actually write this. Okay, M is just a constant, na? So M and capital M are constants. So if they are constants, then definitely we can work out this. Okay, so please type in the chat box. Is this clear? So if you have time, can you please solve question 6 in cylindrical coordinates? Question number 6 in cylindrical coordinates. What is? Okay, so anyhow, this is the last question for today. So what is question number 6 in cylindrical coordinates? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This question. Na? Actually, if you want to calculate in cylindrical coordinates, again you have to go for Jacobian concept. Okay, so let us better keep this in Cartesian coordinates for this time. Okay, because again to convert this we have to go for Jacobians, and we have to write these limits in terms of Cartesian, this polar coordinates again. Okay, so for this time better keep this in Cartesian, because even basically teaching again conversion of Cartesian to polar need the concept of Jacobian. Okay, and writing this calculation of the Jacobians and again substituting and writing the limits will be little cumbersome. So that's why we'll keep this in this format, okay, which is simple as of now. This is very simple. Just keep the z limits and y limits in terms of x and x limits. That's it. So इस बार exam level of difficulty of question ऐसे ही रहेगा. Generally XC maths will be tougher comparatively, to be that's an open fact that we all have to accept. But comparatively, after attending all these classes and after learning some techniques to solve, then definitely we can work out the things. Okay, fine. So this probability question, yes, let us go back. Where is this probability question? Here. So the probability that the smaller of the two is less than 3 is 13/28 and 17/28 is actually given, correct? Fluid will be tough. So fluids will be like tough in the sense like as far as mechanical is concerned, questions came little logical and conceptual, of course, to be honestly speaking. So mathematical analysis, I think you'll have some mathematical analysis analytically questions will be asked this time. Okay, even strength of metals we found so many conceptual questions and all. So definitely subject choice I cannot tell you, because subject choice is completely based on your interest and your strength. It depends. So you have to take it, otherwise it will be difficult for you. Okay, so in this year number of applicants are less, so can we expect something in terms of score from that? Depends again on all India first rank marks, because score calculation is based on that standard deviation again. So I think if you can get some 70 to 75 marks at least, your score can reach around 800, something like that. Okay, one request tomorrow, please give us the properties of linear algebra properties. I'll definitely give you. Then Vago commented something in inbox. I think he is telling hi. Okay, so this session was very interesting, sir. Thanks a lot. Okay, Ashwin, but let us crack this question before we leave, because we are getting 15/17. Look, one thing is very clear. Definitely the answer should be 15/28. If we miss something, then there is a chance that the answer could be 17/28. Okay, but not 13/28, because if you see, definitely these things should happen. Okay, only thing what I am feeling is basically they might have considered this case also. Okay, so less than 3 and equal to 3 something here. Okay, but that will actually get in this case. Okay, so if you take x less than 3 equal to 3, we'll actually cover in this case. Okay, so that's why I think these are the correct things. Okay, 15/28 could be reasonably the correct answer. Case where both numbers is less than 3, it will be 2 into 1. Look, in this case both numbers are less than 3. No? What? Look, the case where both numbers can be less than 3 is actually covered in this. Okay, did you understand? Basically we can actually cover the case of both numbers less than 3 in this. 2, 2 will not be considered. Okay, yes, 2, 2 will not be considered, because without a replacement, once you take out 2, then you cannot again take out 2. Okay, so that's why SOM, FM, TD, all 3 doing directly in exam hall, subject choosing. No, don't do this, because your complete time gets wasted. Okay, you should not decide in the exam hall. Okay, so previously you decide and go to the exam hall, because in exam hall solving 5-10 questions, then again completely leaving that subject and shifting is completely time waste of 30 to 40 minutes. Okay, so please keep this in mind. In exam you don't decide which subjects to choose, you actually choose the subjects before going for the exam. Okay, so in exam how can we select subjects? Look, what happens is in exam, I'll show you, because I can have the access now. GATE 2023. Look, normally if you take any paper, for example, let us say civil engineering paper, then if you open this, look what you have. Where is our John Smith? Okay, he came. Good. So look, here you got general aptitude, civil engineering. Now, there in XC, what you will get is general aptitude, engineering mathematics. Okay, general aptitude and engineering mathematics. These two are compulsory. Now from here, it will start. XC B fluid mechanics, material science, then solid mechanics, this what do you say, thermodynamics, all these things. Okay, what, and before the subject name there will be some small check box. Okay, so you have to tick the check box. Okay, so once you tick the check box, the computer takes that you are writing that subject, and then you can go through the questions as usual. Okay, if you don't tick the check box here, these questions you will not be able to click on the options actually. Okay, this is what one thing that happens in XC. So because you have multiple subjects, you need to choose. Here you'll have some small check boxes. Okay, so once you click the check box, then computer takes that you are writing that subject, and the options will be enabled for you. Okay, otherwise if you don't tick that, you cannot actually click on the options. Okay, and after every question, please click save and next. Okay, after marking the question, don't go for next directly, because all those options whatever you clicked will not get saved. Okay, if you don't click save and next, means let us suppose, I'll show you one thing. Let us suppose for this question, if I click this option, okay, then immediately let us suppose I click 2, then let us suppose I clicked some 6, then I clicked save and next. Then if you go to first question, you see first question is left unanswered, but you have actually clicked 16 by 15, but now you see that is not there. Okay, so that's why after every question, click this save and next. Don't mark the answer like this, then don't click on 4 and then go for the question. Okay, if you go back to 3, you can see this answer is not there now. Okay, so that's how you can actually face some difficulties. Okay, so after every question, click save and next definitely. Okay, now a matrix question. Sir, if AB is equal to 0, then rank of A plus rank of B less than N. This is true or false? Can you explain this please? First of all, yes, whatever you have asked, if AB is equal to 0, then rank of A plus rank of B is less than or equal to N. Look, this is actually true statement. What I want to tell you is, so how to see the whole question paper? This question paper tab. If you click this question paper tab, then complete 65 questions will come as a single PDF. Okay, then you can decide which questions you want to solve first. Clear? This tab, question paper tab here. If you click this question paper tab, then all the 65 questions will come as a single PDF here. Okay, then depending on the subject and your interest, you can decide the question numbers which you have to write first. Clear? So these are the things that you can follow. Then fine. So this matrix question, basically rank of A plus rank of B, this is always less than or equal to N. That statement is true, because product of two non-zero matrices can also be a zero matrix. Okay, so product of two non-zero matrices can be definitely what do you say, can be a zero matrix, because if you take these things, for example, if you take this matrix 3 0 0 0 and B is equal to, for example, 0 0 0 4, for example, okay, then AB is actually 0. Okay, so rank of AB is actually 0, but rank of A is 1, because at least there is one by one element, and rank of B is actually 1. Okay, so that's why rank of AB is less than, or rank of A plus rank of B can be less than. Sometimes let us suppose if this is also 0, then in that case it can be 0, or it can be 2, which is actually equal to the size of these matrices, or if this element is 0, then it can be 1. So that's why this rank of A plus rank of B can be always less than or equal to order size of the matrix actually. Okay, so that's why the statement is correct. Okay, Ashwin. Rajesh, so for less than 3 we have 2 into 2 plus less than 3 and greater than 3. So you didn't get this. What is that? You told something, no? So for less than 3, okay, so for less than 3, these two are the options of less than 3. We have 2 plus less than 3 and greater than or equal to 3. 2 plus less than 3 is not there now. You can have only 1 or 2. That's it now. Look, 2 plus less than 3. So basically that's what these two options tell you. Okay, so 2 plus means basically 2 and 2 plus 3 actually here. Yeah, whatever is the English batch, I am going to teach mathematics there. Okay. Look, whatever the time you have, please use it wisely. Don't keep on practicing 3 subjects. Okay, practice only 2. Be thorough and go for the exam. It's okay if paper is tough in that subject. It's okay that you feel that something happened, but don't feel something like choosing subjects in exam hall. Okay, because once you start subjects in exam hall, after solving some 5-6 questions, if you decide to stop that subject, then this 20-25 minutes whatever is there, very valuable time, that gets wasted. Okay, so don't do this. So third case, write p less than 3 and less than 3. Okay, let us suppose if I write p less than 3 and less than 3, p less than 3 and less than 3. Okay, I have written. Then in that case, Ankit, so tell me, p less than 3 and less than 3. If I write p less than 3 and less than, then what happens? It will be 2 into 1. But it can be 3 also, na? Even if this is 3 also, then also the condition is valid, correct? Fine. Even if you consider 3 also, still the condition is valid. So that's why if you don't take 3, you are actually leaving some possible cases. Okay, so that cannot happen. Fine then. Whatever you take, if you take less than 3 and look, definitely you should involve 3. If you don't involve 3, you are actually leaving some cases, leaving some possible cases. Okay, so that should not happen. Clear? Arrangement is yes, we are considering arrangement definitely, because first time you can pick something less than 3 and second time you can pick something more than 3. Okay, so it depends on the arrangement also. So fluid, what are the most important and expected topics? In XA nothing like that, but normally I'll tell you some areas where you get generally some less questions. Turbulent flow, you can generally experience some less questions. Apart from turbulent flow, in every chapter you have, you'll get some 2 to 3 questions definitely. Fine. So basically in this question we have considered each and every possibility that came into the picture. So is this true, if I don't choose a SOM, I won't be able to opt design in MTech? No, nothing like that as far as I know. But IIT Kharagpur is the only thing which actually puts some restriction on subjects. Other than that, they just follow other IITs. Okay, so please go for that. Last minute suggestion or inspiration. I think better I'll give this on last day before the exam. Okay, there is some session for this. We will talk there. Okay, fine. So clear? If things are fine. Anyhow, this question I think 15 by 18, 15 by 28 is the correct answer, because we have considered each and every possibility into the picture. So if you see, then this integration is anyhow done. So that's it. Of course, so we have done this maths for today. So tomorrow morning again 9 AM, Sandeep sir will begin this fluid mechanics, and slowly I'll also join, and we will actually go to the question. Okay. Okay. Look, one thing is very clear, answer should be either 15 by 28 or more than 15 by 28 if we left something, but 13 by 28 is like we are leaving some case. Okay. So of course this is our team, as you know that we have some different domains, of course thermal, manufacturing, okay, and then maths, of course me and Vishal sir, and I and OR, basically production for Amit Dixit sir, and sorry, Aditya Paul sir, and Swadesh Kumar sir, and industrial engineering and operations by Amit Dixit sir. So this is our team for mechanical and XC, of course. And finally this last slide, thank you. Okay, clear? SOM and fluid is a good choice, depends on you. I am telling you, I cannot tell you whether which is good choice. It depends on you actually. It depends on your strength of subjects and all. Okay, so fine then, thank you all. I hope we have learned some good questions today. Calculating this, what do you say, one question from sequences and series. Okay, one question from basically some important things. Yeah, most important slide, of course. Okay, so thank you is what the most important slide, of course. So fine then, thank you all. We'll meet again tomorrow morning for fluid mechanics. Okay, so we'll solve some questions of fluid mechanics there, and then we will move on. Okay, fine then, clear? Thank you. Then we'll meet tomorrow at morning session for fluid mechanics. Okay, so we'll continue some fluid mechanics, and tomorrow most probably in the first half we will upload the lectures of, means basically you will be given free access to the lectures of potential flow and control volume analysis, basically Reynolds transport theorem and its applications. Okay, so that we can see. Clear? Yeah, good night all of you, take care. So no more sessions for today. So today you got some relaxation, so sleep well. It's 12 o'clock, so you can sleep and wake up at morning 6 o'clock, then prepare and again come for the class. Okay, so tomorrow also you have hectic session, so please don't relax for the last 2-3 days. So once XC exam is done, then you can relax for a long time. Okay. Yeah, thank you all. Okay, bye, take care, good night. We'll meet again sometime later in the morning. Okay, fine then, thank you. Okay, so thank you all. Yeah, thank you. Good night, bye, take care.